We watch anime.
We watch anime. And are you feeling sick? Because my name is Natasha, and I'm the World Doctor.
And you're going to do what?
I have no idea.
I got that ad just a minute ago, and she really just does say, like, "Hi, I'm Natasha, an Underworld Doctor. What's up?" And like, that's it. Okay. What is this game? I have no idea.
It's Genshin Impact.
I don't want to know. I do not want to know anything about a game that has that many ads in YouTube videos.
Do you know what it's called?
Yes. I'm not even going to say it, though, because that's free advertising.
Okay.
We've already said too much, in fact. Unless they pay us, I would definitely take I would take a fat check from that company if they wanted to drop it on our doorstep, because I'm sure we run ads for that anyways, actually, on this channel. Now that we have advertisement, we also have the support of our amazing fans that keep this show running, even though it's late.
And
gay, but you've been very patient with us, people who support us on Patreon. Of course, if you are on our $10 or higher tier on Patreon or Back.buy, Back.buy takes less of our money. Fewer people have accounts there, so more people tend to use Patreon, but, we appreciate it when you do use Back.buy, such as True Fox 1, who has been using it for a while. And we also have our backers on Patreon.
Beatrice read all of them last week, so it's my turn.
Okay.
Do I just read the ones
just
that are listed?
all through here.
All right. Abby K, Ice Bear, Dylan, Devin Hall, Last Esses, right?
Yes.
M2, Hidden Music Island, Anathemy Badesu, Susu 2, and Zero Soon Game.
Yeah.
Esses.
That's everybody. That's all of our $10. And then we also, of course, on the $5 tier on both of those sites, offer bonus episodes. We have a bonus episode on Bocchi the Rock. We have a bonus episode on Cyberpunk Edge Runners, both very long and in-depth. And our next one is going to be on
Don't mess with the Azoken.
Keep your hands off the Azoken, I think is the English title, but like either one works as a translation of the Japanese name. No, it is literally Azoken wa Teo Dasuna, literally like, keep your hands off of it.
Okay.
Anyways, it's a show that we haven't gotten to finish yet, so we will talk about it when we do, hopefully like this week. We've had a crazy fucking work schedule recently. We spent like 2 weeks in this really bizarre...
Sorry, while you're on that topic, I just want to say real quick, we can talk at like a regular volume now.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
We had been like basically whispering throughout our last 2 podcasts because we were in this really strange situation of like a mansion that like had a bunch of other people living in it, and like our room was right next to somebody else's room, so we were really trying to be kind of quiet on the podcast and such. It was just an all-around weird time. We were all the way up on this mountain in this weird, rich neighborhood of all these crumbling mansions, and everything was way too expensive and far away, so it was always like a fucking endeavor just to like go get food after work. So yeah, the first couple days of this week, you'll also remember on the last podcast I was complaining about shoulder pain, which has luckily cleared up. I think the last couple nights of sleeping on nice hotel beds fixed it up, because I really did not care much for the bed that we were sleeping on in that place.
It was not a good bed. The cats were cool, though.
The cats were cool.
Mocha and latte.
But yeah, so I think that as soon as I got into a better bed, I kind of healed up. But the first couple nights of this week when we were still at the mansion, we were just like sleeping excessively, just like coming home, again, having to go into like Portland, find food that we can afford and eat and get home, and then like just basically pass the fuck out. So yeah, I haven't found time to edit the previous episode of the podcast yet.
Boo.
We finally left Portland. We are now in Washington State, in Olympia.
We love it in Olympia.
It is really cool here. It's a lot nicer than Portland.
They have a pipe you can get free water out of.
It's a lot more to my taste of a place to be, to exist. Amy World says, I'll forgive your lateness if you explain Haruhi Suzumiya this time. No.
Please?
You have to go to the bonus episode to get that.
But you didn't even do it there.
I did. Didn't I spend like half an hour explaining Haruhi Suzumiya in that Bocchi the Rock bonus episode?
No, you were just deflecting like you always have.
Oh, okay, sure. Do you think this Mushoku Tensei season is being dragged out? Oh, don't worry.
The whole show's been dragged out.
We're going to get into it soon.
Oh, hey, we're starting with that one.
Anything else we needed to talk about? The reason we are so late today, yesterday we were planning to have a quick little get-together with my friend Marcus, who I haven't seen in like 6 years. Some people may remember me talking about him if you've been around forever. I don't know. He's one of my old friends who I've like semi-kept up with but haven't actually seen because he's been living in Washington for like 5 years. I've never been up here. So... yeah, we hung out with him, and our plan was we were just going to go get lunch and then go see Barbie, and then finish up, get back to the hotel, finish up the anime, do all that shit, and then do the live stream. But when we finally, after lunch, went to look up Barbie tickets, they were just, booked all the way through the day. This was on a Saturday, a week after the movie is out.
Which is incredible.
So I was
Barbie's
like,
going to make
shit.
$700 million in 2 weeks.
This movie is is bussin', I guess. So, yeah, we didn't get to see Barbie, and then, basically... I just took the opportunity to tell Marcus the entire story of me and Bird being together, which took probably 2.5 hours.
It was a thing, That was a whole.
And by
story.
the time we realized, oh shit, we really got to get out of here and go do this.
I think I first
podcast.
said hey, we should probably go at 4:30 maybe.
I don't know about
and then
that.
I think we left at 6 or 7. It was great. I had a wonderful time.
Well, as soon as we got back, you immediately passed out. The EP was
Oh, that's the boss we're fighting.
Yeah,
right?
so we figured out that we already did our introductory arc last season of this show was the Shire, we're leaving the Shire, right? And now we're in the being haunted by the Eepee demon.
Okay.
How Guts has the curse mark in Berserk, and it means demons are always chasing him around. We've got the Eepee demon following us around and constantly cursing us with the Eepee.
What is the Eepee?
It's where you just fall asleep all goddamn day.
Damn.
And you're really tired on the podcast, Bird was on the last couple.
Where
you saying your EP right now is the EP demon
might have
crawling
crept
on
up
your
on
back?
me. I don't know.
Shit.
No, I'm joking.
Fight that EP.
I'm joking.
The EP is our second half of season 1 villain, I guess. The first major arc villain is the EP.
The EP.
The EP.
What does the EP look like?
EP. I don't know. I don't know how to describe a visual of an EP monster, goblin creature. It climbs on your back. It's like a blanket. It's like a blanket monster that climbs on your back and goes EP.
Is it like a bad monster? This sounds like a nice monster.
It is. It's like a ghost Pokemon where it's
okay,
cute,
so it's
but
eating your soul.
You should not be near it. Yeah.
Okay.
They
live at old hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
Pokemon hire.
We are at an old hotel. We found ourselves at another one of those mysterious one-off
liminal space
hotels.
Hey, have you ever seen the most recent episode of Mushoku Tensei?
Oh God.
Unless there was something else you wanted to talk about,
Yes. We've been discussing doing manga.
Yes, we have.
We read manga as a separate podcast show for this one. Right now, the reason that the EP is so upon us is that we have a regular normie job. I shouldn't call it that. It's a weird fucking job that nobody understands.
It's a
but,
job,
But
it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time and effort and physical duress and mental duress of constantly being in new places all the fucking time. So Sometimes I get confused about where the fuck I am. I wake up and I realize I'm not in the hotel that I remember from the previous day because it's all a blur between them. So, it's a lot to take
Right now, we are in Portland.
No. We are in Olympia, goddammit, which is a cool place. A lot of trans people here, which is pretty exciting to see. But anyways, so, God damn it, you distracted me. Every time Bird will do something where open up phone, and I get so distracted by the fact that you have your phone open that I forget
I'm
what
sorry,
I'm talking
I was
about.
checking logistics of something.
Of what?
Of where we're going to be tomorrow. We were invited to a concert.
Okay, focus on the podcast. Don't let the concert demon take you this time. We read manga, that's what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to say here is we are talking about doing it as a patron exclusive podcast that would come out every 2 weeks, and we will cover one volume at a time of 5 prestigious manga, starting with the sort of big 3 of violent, long-running, ongoing, endlessly seinen manga: Berserk, Vinland Saga, and Vagabond. And then we're going to top that off with JoJo Part 7.
I love it. It's
and
good.
Land of the Lustrous.
Also, oh boy, was I disappointed when I read a chapter thinking it was a volume.
Yeah, Bird just, read, in the car, in 10 minutes, it's like, haha, I read Volume 1 of Berserk. And I'm
I wasn't this confident.
I immediately was like, oh yeah, what's your favorite part? He was like, what do you mean? He fought a snake monster. And I was like, you sure you read the whole first volume of Berserk? And then Bird got deflated. But I went and read all 5 manga already. I've read the first volumes, and they were all really good. And I'm really excited to talk about them. And I cannot wait to do this manga podcast. But we're not going to actually launch the Patreon tier until we are ready to do it. Till Bird has read all the manga, and we have scheduled a date.
Till you've read all the manga.
I already read all the manga.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll get that up and running because we're trying to make more money up front on this podcast. It takes a long time to grow. I'm not really trying to grow a massive audience for this podcast. I really more want a hyper engaged audience. I spend a lot of time in the Discord.
In Witch from Mercury, how she connects to her Gundam with a thing, or maybe Iron Blooded Orphans. Is that what you're saying? You want to be plugged into your viewer base?
Maybe.
Okay.
I just like I like the feeling of community, of being around people who are all having the same conversation. When it comes to anime, there's so much of it. There's so much anime history. There is so much anime currently. So many different conversations happening. It's really hard to find a place to have the conversations you're looking for. And I think for me, I've reached a point with anime where I'm not in the free form exploration phase of trying to figure out my taste or figure out what's good. I know what's good, whether I've seen it or not. I know my taste. It's just a question of why am I watching these shows? So this the creation of this podcast is just to give you a reason to watch these shows. It doesn't have to be that you love them. We've had some people who like some of the shows and watch some of them even though they don't like them because it's on the podcast, and I appreciate that.
Oshinoko. Sorry.
I mean, my whole career has been me watching every single popular anime, whether I like it or not, so that I have something to say that's going to get a lot of views, So it's been for me, I just make it fun for myself by being honest and just completely fucking shitting on the shows that are popular that I think suck. Speaking of which, let's talk about Mushoku Tensei, Part 2.
Is this they're on the date already, or are they just hanging out? This is the very
start. They're hanging out. So Rudius has been touring with this gang for a few episodes now. You know, he's been trying to build a reputation for himself so that eventually his mom will hear about him. And he's come to be known as what is it, like
Quagsire.
Quagmire Rudius,
Giggity.
which is a weird name. But
it's because he's such a pervert.
Like Quagmire, the character from Family Guy, that's where he got the name from.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes perfect sense. I had the same thought, don't worry. Quagmire Rudius, he's becoming a known figure in town, and he's getting closer and closer with this girl Sarah, who initially really hated him. She's a classic tsundere, you know, just a mean bitch at first, but now she likes him. She's trying to sit closer. She's trying to smooth up to him. She's trying to get on his good side, and he's like,
she's a tsundere, like the blonde older lady in Naruto, right?
It's Tsunade? Not bad. I feel like you've pulled this one on me before. Long story short, because, man, it's a long story. I wanna make some babies. I wanna get it up.
You know, it really feels like...
make you horny, but I can't get it up.
Shouldn't there be a boner spell? He's a magician. Or a potion or something? There's been horny
It must be your face, or it's your body. If it ain't your body, then it must be your face.
It turns out it's emotions.
Unfortunately, little Jimmy has been canceled for
hardcore. He's bad.
He's maybe not a very good man. Sorry, I don't know why. Why'd you do it, Jimmy? Why'd you do it? Why'd you have to do those things? Now I have to give these disclaimers. Anyways, Mushoku Tensei. He's gonna get it in, maybe.
No, he can't really get it up.
She seems to be feeling it. She's like, hey, you saved me, you know? We're tight.
What if we go back to your place and have some more drinks?
Yeah, what if we fuck? And he's like, alright, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do it. That's what my homies would want me to do.
That's what my dad would want me to do.
That's what my dad would want me to do. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, he can't get hard. So,
I don't know why he doesn't blame the alcohol.
Yeah, you know... maybe he's never thought about it. Unfortunately, she takes this as poorly as possible. This whole arc is difficult for me because
like most of the show.
Yeah, like most of the show, because it's the kind of thing where it's not that I don't understand how Rudius like feels. It's just that he's such a fucking pathetic chump that like I don't really want to even be on his side. But at the same time, some of the stuff that happens, I'm like, well, you know, yeah, this woman, like, her reaction...
She's kind of rude.
Well, the way she responds, like, to me, this is unforgivable. Like, if you know, I was in the same circumstances and she said this to me, I'd be like, well, fuck you forever, actually, for that. Because what she says to him is like, you know what? Actually, I was just doing this out of obligation. I wasn't into you in the first place. It's just you saved me, so I thought it might be nice to do something for you. But, you know, actually, I didn't really mean any of it. And then as she's leaving, barely under her breath, just the worst. Saite. You know, just, like, damn.
She's pretty, yeah.
Like...
pretty upset.
All blame, all anger. Like, I don't know. I know there are women who are like this, who really will get, like, act like it's like you've I don't know, aggressed their honor or something because you couldn't get hard. I will aggress
your honor all day and all night.
So yeah, she kind of sucks. Not that we didn't already know that. 'Cause she was never like a good character. She always kind of a bitch. But you know, whatever. I guess now she's really mask off. But he's not gonna make it any better for himself. So he gets really ashamed, goes to the bar, is getting drunk, and the guy who in the previous episode had gotten shit-faced and yelled at him and been like, "You're always there with that smile on your face, you fake bitch."
This guy sucks.
Rudius just sees this guy and on sight throws him on the ground and just starts beating the fuck out of him, yelling at him.
It was nice. It was nice to see Rudius do something I would do for once.
You know, yeah, so this was funny to me particularly because that scene from last week was like, even though I thought it was really cheesy the way they handled this character and introducing him and his beef with Rudius, what he had said had stuck with me a little bit, of him being like, you always act like you have it worse than anybody in the world, and like you're always just looking down on other people, and I feel some of that, like those are some of my flaws, feeling like I'm always just, oh, woe is me, like, why do I have to deal with so much shit and everybody else seems to just be able to live life, but at the same time, watching Rudius then throw this man to the ground and punch him in the face like 20 times as the guy just stares up at him pathetically, I was like, oh no, I don't relate to this at all anymore. And particularly when the guy goes, oh shit, what is it he says? He's like, maybe you really do have it worse than anybody else.
That was funny.
He's just like, you know what?
Maybe I am a fucking idiot.
Like Rudius hits this dude in the face like 10 times. A guy comes up to the guy and goes, hey, go easy on them, maybe. And the guy's just like, buddy, I think we need to talk about this, like, you just punched me 25 times, but no effect. Like, Rudius is, I guess, just enough of a weak bitch that this guy doesn't seem to really be in pain or give much of a shit that this happened. He just decides to hang out with him and talk it through. Yeah, their relationship doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, it is weird that they're just friends now and drinking. He looks depressed as hell, Rudius.
So, basically, he gets Rudius to immediately tell him what happened. He's like, okay, so you couldn't get it up and the girl ditched you. And he's like, yeah.
Hey, you know what? I like brothels. You know what we should do to fix your problem? Brothel. Let's just go to a brothel. You can't get it up?
Well, and it's because he also brings up his relationship with, what's her name? Eliza? Is that the red-haired? Riza? Riza? Something?
Eris.
Is there a Riza in this show?
No, I don't think so.
I'm fucking losing my mind. Eris ran off on him right after they fucked. And this guy concludes maybe you were just really bad at sex,
Based conclusion.
So he's like, what if we overwrite these memories of bad sexual encounters by
with
taking
a good sexual encounter,
taking you to a brothel, which is logic I've heard people use. I think this can potentially work. I think having positive sexual experiences can make up sometimes for negative ones.
Let's go to a brothel.
But you also run a lot of risks.
Package deal.
So we make it very clear that this woman...
It knows who he is.
This woman at this brothel is going to try her best to take care of him. Because aside from the fact that she's fucking stone cold, beautiful, big ass titties, she, like... So, and fucking, I don't know how I knew this was going to come up again. In the previous episode, in the stupid cold OP where the unfitting music was playing over him, like, shoveling snow and helping townspeople, there was, like, this one moment where he helps out a little girl by, like, healing her leg. There's no dialogue or anything, but somehow I knew that was going to come back. And sure enough, it turns out that this is her older sister. This is not something I could have guessed how it was going to come back, but her older sister's like, oh, I've heard you're a great person because you helped my sister in the street, so I'm going to make sure I fuck you real good.
Helps to know healing magic.
So we know he's going to get the attention that he needs, except they try many things, and she cannot get him hard. So
they
now
we
know...
pegging.
We don't know that, but maybe. So this is where we really have to ask, okay, like, what's the issue? Is it just that he needs to feel an emotional connection, or is it the tits? Because I brought this up on previous episode, like, on the site where we watch this show, there's like a graphic that shows up on, like, before you click play, there's like a graphic to show off the show, and it's the three main girls all just bored flat, and I'm like, man.
Bored flat.
Yeah, BOARD.
I get what
washboard
you mean.
Flat. And I mean, he seemed to be sexually interested in all three of them, but also the maid growing up. We brought this up too, so it's hard to say for sure, but it might just be the emotional, like, oh, they've been around me, or I already feel something for them. We don't really get answers yet. Rudius hasn't solved this sexual conundrum by the end of this episode, and unfortunately, it only gets worse. So, his homie. This is actually some really interesting advice from the guy who's now decided he's just de facto Rudius's pal now. He tells him, when it comes to a labyrinth, personally, I try not to go too deep unprepared. Because the deeper you go, the tougher the monsters you encounter. So if you just rush in, you're going to get hurt. This is his advice on sex to Rudius. Is like, there's clearly a lot going on with you, and you shouldn't just try to rush into this. Pretty good advice. There's just something about, like, I understand that this is the nature of this show is such that the character is supposed to be, like, almost unreasonably pathetic. But it's just, for me, being, like, myself, like, 32 years old, and knowing that this character was, like, older than I am before they died, and then has had another 14 years on top of that. And, like, granted, I think there's some stuff about, like, how he still feels like a teenager or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of Oshinoko and getting my wires crossed here, but he's a little old to be this fucking...
His internal monologue is still old guy voice. So,
right. And,
whenever he sees Man God, he's
in his old guy form. Yeah, I don't know. So as they're walking through the streets, he gets really, like, high and mighty for no fucking reason about this whole thing.
He's just upset that she left him, and so he is upset about the whole thing because he can't get hard for two women. Mm-hmm. And I kind of figured this was going to happen as soon as other guy proposed a brothel, because I was like, the problem wasn't lack of willing participants.
Right, exactly.
But so he just starts shouting in the street something like, I don't want... Her name's Sarah, right?
He's like, I don't even want a woman like her anyway. She's built like a kid.
I need someone like other, like, prostitute who has big boobies.
Yeah.
Built.
Which is clearly not true. So, like, at this point, he's, like, projecting this, like... No, I'm a real man. Obviously, I want real, big titties and everything. But, like, no. Dude, that's like why would you even lie about this?
I'm a real man, and I would like big titties.
We've spent the first fucking episode when he met Roxy, his reaction to her was, like...
Oh, boobies, where are they?
Well, he said, no, he said, a lolly, perfect. Like... His very first thought was, nothing is better than a deadpan lolly. This is my waifu.
Before this guy died, by any chance, did he, like, have an anime analysis career? But, like, before that, he was a pony YouTuber?
Are you saying transition would save Rudius?
Maybe.
So, the other thing is, he, before he fucks up with Sarah, he mentions Roxy. He's, like, bringing her up as, like, this person. Like, they're narratively kind of trying to suggest that his feelings for Roxy are what's keeping him from being able to sleep with these other women, even though he slept with another woman already. So, again, maybe it's just, like, the two women he's close to.
He slept with another woman?
Yeah, because he slept with a fucking heiress.
Oh, okay, right, sure.
Anyway, he gets overheard by Sarah. She slaps him in the streets and tells him, I don't want to see you again.
You worthless scum, or something like that?
Yeah, the other woman is like, wow, you really fucked that one up.
That was uncalled for.
They kind of walk away. And, happy dagger, he's just gonna kill himself.
They had gone on a date earlier in this episode. I think we didn't really get screen caps of that, but they, like, got food and stuff and bought daggers together.
And yeah, it's that dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had gone on a date, and then she throws down the dagger she had bought with him. And he, like, is so scarred in this moment, he's just going to kill himself.
Hey, go to Greenland. I mean, I don't know. Maybe don't say kill you.
This is way too
down. It's an overreaction.
Down bad. This is definitional down bad.
Do you think when
chump
he
syndrome
was in his previous life he tried to do this? Ever?
Yeah.
Okay. Surprising he lived so long, because he was like 34 or something.
This is, look, I've had some bad breakups. I don't think I ever staring down the barrel of a 45. Like, I never, well, I'm talking about people I was with for, for a long, a nice, like, real emotional...
couple years.
I guess he was with Sarah for a while, but she's a fucking bitch. I mean, the one time he was gonna score with her, she treated him like fucking shit afterwards. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't be killing myself over the opinions of the person who fucking said that shit to me in that situation. So it's a little bit laughable, but, whatever. He gets stopped by his homie. This guy is like, I've always found your nature annoying, but now I understand what is at the heart of you, and so I feel like we can be friends. This guy basically is like, I've come to realize that you are just unfucking believably down bad. Now I get it. It's all okay.
I just wish he'd
if I
stayed
had
with
known
his
this
dad
was the
for
problem,
this arc.
yeah, well, I guess he needed somebody else.
I guess his dad needs to watch the sisters.
His dad would be too busy getting all the fucking...
All the pussy.
Yeah, all the pussy. He'd be stealing all... This guy seems more wingman material, He seems like he'd be happy enough to get his friend laid and go get drunk and
He's
pass
he's
out
kind of like
somewhere.
Klein from Sword Art Online.
A little bit. Except this guy is way more intense than Klein. I don't see Klein, like, just fucking punching people in the face apropos of nothing all the time.
A couple good things from the chat. If he kills himself, does he get isekai'd again? This time into Kusa Mega World?
And reborn as Aqua's son.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess I think that's... Oh yeah, post-credit scene. So...
the slutty friend in Roxy's party. This is who this is, right?
She's the slutty friend. Is it Roxy? Yeah, she is with Roxy.
Yeah, because Roxy keeps walking in on her and being upset.
Yes, so she overhears a conversation about Quagmire Rudius and is like, literally, if you can tell me more, I will fuck you here and now.
You can have your way with me.
And the guys do remember more, and then it is implied she drags them off to fuck.
Just one of them. She doesn't drag both of them.
This girl is best...
She is pretty
by
great.
far best girl in the show. I mean, of all the stupid sexual fantasies and hang-ups and traumas that this author had to work through in this book, I'm glad that this was one of them. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
I forgot to mention this while we were doing the Birds and the Bees, but I got a gallon water bottle this week, and it's pretty great. I'm really happy with it.
I do really like this igloo. Or no, Yeti, not igloo. Yeah, Yeti.
Because I lost my other big water bottle in one of our hotel rooms, and I feel bad about it. But now I have twice the amount of water, and also probably twice the amount of heft in case I need to swing it around.
So, this week's Pokemon.
It's cute. We get to see the electric gym leader. Her name is Iono. This
is a weird case of an episode where, I enjoyed it because of the premise, but it is so slow and not dense that I can probably summarize this in a few sentences. Basically...
Well, just to say, the thing with the electric gym leader is, once again, a gym leader challenge, where you play hide and seek, like what they do to find Liko. You have to do that, I think, 3 times. Just find a random person in a crowd shot to challenge her as gym leader.
So this is the gym challenge. Do you think that they're going to fight her in the next episode?
Someone has to. Didn't Roy? Well, he lost. I don't know. Maybe not.
Did they get the badge from that guy anyway? I can't remember.
Maybe.
I literally don't even remember if... I think I remember somebody getting a badge. But I think it was because he had awoken his true
artistic
art or
spirit.
Yeah, which is very Pokemon. I mean, Ash got his first 3 or 4 badges without winning any fights. So, his first 2. He did win the Lieutenant Surge fight. Anyway, in this episode, Liko they land in a city. Liko and Sprigatito kind of just wander off, having a good time, and everybody else is like, "Where the fuck did they go?"
the end of the last episode, Nyahoja and Liko got hypnotized, and they got the necklace stolen from them.
So I guess they're
by
just...
the guy with Breki.
But they don't remember that this happened because of the hypnotism.
Yeah.
So from their perspective, they're just like hanging out. And
I couldn't find the name of that like weird psychic brown golem Pokemon.
Yeah.
But it was
cool. I
cool.
don't remember what it is either. So basically, yeah, she got hypnotized. She got her pendant stolen. She's wandering around the city.
She's like playing with the cat and the ancient Pokeball, like because she doesn't know what it is, so she thinks it's just a cat toy. It's fun.
Everyone else is like, "Where the fuck is she?" So we got to do something. So Dot is like, "Yo, one of my other streamer homies, she's got the pull, she's got the clout. If the two of us do a collab, we could probably fucking track this girl down." So they basically pull a $dollars sequence. People who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. Where, because in that it was like a social media thing, in this it's more of like a streaming thing. But it's a pretty cute sequence. Basically, streamer girl, like, I don't know if this is a hologram or if she's literally there.
She's literally there.
Okay, so she shows up on top of this like big like telegraphic podium thing and is like, "Hey, we're playing hide and seek. We got to find this fan." And it's, you know, one of Gurumin's fans. She's asking for help. So, you know, Dot's doing the Gurumin character and everything on the live stream. And, it's Nyahoja Superfan.
And, whoa, oh my god, that looks like Liko holding a cat in front of her face. Who could it be?
Liko is just watching this right here
in the middle of the crowd with everyone.
As soon as she realizes, like, everybody's immediately like, "Oh my god, that's her."
That's a Nyahoja.
And she's like, "No, it can't be me. Why would Gurumin be looking for me? I better run." So she takes off, and they're all like, What?
And then Iono turns it into a game of tag.
Well, she's like, "Well, this is good for views." Like, she says, you know, it's not going to go viral unless there's a struggle. So, like, let's pump it up. Let's do it. So they've got everybody chasing after her. They capture her. They corner her. They get her. Dot, you know, comes out of her room to be a part of the effort to make this happen. She's very embarrassed, but it's adorable. Is this you, Bird? Are you Nyahoja super fan?
It could be me if I dyed some of my hair blue and held a cat in front of my face, but it would be a Grookey mega fan.
Okay, so even though I asked this because you've been talking about how Nyahoja being cute is like the best thing about this show.
Well, she is adorable.
It's she's definitely winning the popularity contest in the Discord.
But I think Hogator is adorable too because he sings. That's a really cute factor for him. The new bird, the new electric bird Wattrel, I like him. Yeah. I'm excited to see what he does. I don't know, but yeah, Nyahoja, I am a big fan.
So the main like plot progression we get in this episode is just simply that Dot and Liko actually meet for the first time. Which is
like right after Liko wakes up from amnesia also, which is funny.
So I think it's fascinating to me because Dot, from her perspective, has been like watching Liko on monitors, like knows what she looks like, knows who she is, like but Liko literally had never seen what Dot looked like before. And so the reactions they have are totally different, where Dot's just like, "Yeah, of course like, what do you mean?" Like, you know, just hasn't really considered that physically manifesting feels different, you know, from like just knowing somebody. But yeah, from Dot's perspective, doesn't feel like they haven't met before. Of course, Liko still has not figured out that she's Gurumi, and she manages to keep this secret.
It's pretty funny.
There's a moment like midway through the episode after the live stream where she takes off the Gurumi outfit and like the voice change happens like literally as the like zipper comes over her head, like she's doing the Gurumi voice, yeah. And then like now I'm down in the Dot. Like I was like, oh, is it like a switch? Like when you put on the costume, because that's how I feel about the fuck is my character's name? My gay character. Queermo, yeah. Like I can't just become Queermo. You have to be.
Could you just become Queermo for a second? How's he doing? Is he all right?
Queermo's always all right.
But like, what's he been up to? What does he think?
What do you think? Watching JoJo?
Okay, so you just read JoJo's Part 7. Does Queermo have any thoughts on that?
Probably a big fan. I don't know. I can't talk to Queermo. Queermo only comes out when I'm in the right outfit with the hat. The hat is important.
Does it have to be the JoJo's hat?
You have to turn the hat to the side in order for it to activate. No, it doesn't have to be the JoJo's hat. But
do we have a ball cap?
You need very short shorts.
Okay.
A ball cap, a tight shirt, and big Southern energy.
I'm just gonna trick you into manifesting Queermo.
Can Queermo explain Haruhi Suzumiya? Probably not.
Awesome.
I don't think he's
I would love to see Queermo
that would be
try
really
to do
funny.
that.
But anyway, I don't think that it goes this deep with Dot, because later we see outside of the costume, she's just kind of crouched in the corner doing the Gurumin voice into her phone.
Which is only like they're on a roof, right?
Yeah.
And there's only like one place to hide, and it's only like 10 feet away from them, so you totally just hear Dot like if you were standing.
Yeah, well, it's a children's cartoon. It's for speaking of children's cartoons. This one's not.
This one's not a children's cartoon. This is a really good episode. I really enjoy it. So, do you think this is going to be the last episode where we're in the past? We should probably. You've got to.
I think so.
Should we create a little bumper for this segment or a song we sing or something?
It's time for Nino defends Jujutsu Kaisen in my text messages. If any of you don't know...
He's just clarifying things we get wrong.
If any of you don't know, Nino is a YouTuber. He's got some really cool videos. You can go to his channel. He streams sometimes. He's a friend of mine, and also apparently a big manga reader of Jujutsu Kaisen. And so every week that we talk about it, he lets me know... Well, here's his words. KK, so I watched your last episode, and I saw that all these texts were essentially the basis of your Jujutsu Kaisen coverage, so I'm doing Otaku Kind a continued public service and going over the things you said in your last recap. Very humble. So yeah, I don't fault you for finding the pacing very odd. A lot of that episode was actually Mappa's creative liberties, sequence of events-wise. The manga does skip to the beach, but there's more text narration to keep it flowing cohesively. Aside from that, though, Gojo is not related to Toji and Megumi, at least not immediately related. The thing is, Gojo has the 6 eyes, an extremely powerful curse technique, which is the basis for all his OP-ness. Toji went to visit the Gojo house when Satoru was a kid, but was surprised that even back then the baby Gojo could still sense him, hence why he made all those preparations to tire him out. Like I said, this is Jujutsu Kaisen's answer to the Kakashi Gaiden arc. I'd actually recommend you guys watch the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie after this arc is done before continuing the rest of Season 2. The reason I say this is because Jujutsu Kaisen Zero isn't actually a prequel, so to speak. It is the actual start of the Jujutsu Kaisen story. Gege, that's the author, wrote 4 chapters for Jump as a test serialization, more or less as a set of one-shot chapters, except he didn't compromise and fully built off of it for his main serialization. Personally, it's a much better starting point for people who find the manga slightly all over the place. I know I didn't get to Jujutsu Kaisen until reading Volume 0, which is what the JJK Zero movie adapts. Oh, also, the like a needle through a knit cloth thing was referring to his vital organs. His flesh got hit, but he used cursed energy to make sure no real damage was dealt. Oh, and one other thing, as far as Mappa and their aesthetic approach to Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man, I'm of the contradictory viewpoint of y'all. I find the style Chainsaw Man uses in the anime is literally just Mappa lifting this style they used for JJK. They look identical, which shouldn't be the case because this look definitely fits JJK more than Chainsaw Man. On that last point...
This also came first, so yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I had forgotten that.
I didn't mean to, say, oh, it's Chainsaw Man, it's to be
copying
derogatory.
Chainsaw Man. But I'll also say that I think that... I think I compare this one to Chainsaw Man more because, A, I don't remember the first season being nearly as, cinematic with its presentation or, artsy or weird. This show has gotten... really weird with the visuals. Really again,
it's
using film tropes and stuff. It feels like I don't know what the manga looks like personally, but I remember the first season looking a lot more like a manga than this one does. But at the same time, do I think that the style fits Jujutsu Kaisen better than Chainsaw Man? Kinda, yeah. Because Chainsaw Man, to me, like, there were moments that really, really worked, especially the, like, more romantic, intimate moments, I think, were done well in Chainsaw Man. And, like, on the whole, I liked the anime quite a bit. But the manga has such a unique feel that I don't think the anime really captured perfectly. But I do think that, like, they leveled up the visuals going into Chainsaw Man, and that level up has stayed for Jujutsu Kaisen 2, where, like, on this podcast, we're watching anime from every single decade of anime history. Some of them, there's, like, really big leaps of technology, and I'm really surprised by how, like, the 2020s shows we're watching, particularly, like, Jujutsu Kaisen 2, Zom 100, Witch from Mercury. You watch those compared to Steins Gate, which was, like, pretty cutting edge for its time, and it feels like we're just on another playing field of, like, what TV anime can do if it's going all the way, you know? Yeah. So, like, I Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, while it did look very good, did not blow my mind the way that Chainsaw Man or Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen have visually, in terms of just, like, showing me shit I ain't seen before. So anyways, this episode's pretty good because cool stuff happens.
There's a lot of fighting. So it starts with Toji fighting Geto, I believe his name is. And Geto, he puts up a good fight. He throws some spooky cursed demons at him or whatever, cursed beasts. I'm not clear on the power system or how anything really works. I
think we're gonna have to get deeper into Jujutsu Kaisen and maybe
my understanding
learn more about the power systems.
On a very base level, is there's, like, inherited family techniques like Gojo's eyes and Limitless and stuff like that, and then there's also people who can summon or absorb cursed spirits like Geto.
Right.
And then Megumi's kind of a mix of that. Like, the guy in the main show with black hair. Yeah. Because he has an inherited technique that lets him summon cursed spirits. Okay. It's, I don't think this power system is supposed to be easy to understand.
So, yeah, well... So my impression of this episode, like, after I went back through it, collecting clips and kind of understanding exactly what happened, like, it feels to me like in each episode of this show, approximately 2 things happen, and each of those things takes, like, 8 minutes to explain. And I know that's kind of normal for shonen anime, but it also feels to me like that's... like, all that there is in this show is, like, explanations for why a thing happens.
And how it just happened.
And how it happens, and then, like, and then the next one, And some of that shit is really cool, though. Like, some of the explanations are relatively, like... Okay, so this one starts off... I'll also say that, like, this guy doesn't start this conversation by saying, like, I'm about to explain how I got into the school. It's kind of like he just starts...
No, he starts the conversation off by shooting that girl in the head.
Well, he just starts, like, dumping details about how his powers work in order to...
Because it makes the power stronger, like Hunter x Hunter.
Is that... was that a rule in that show, too?
Yeah, and some of the Nen abilities...
Stronger?
Yeah.
So, yeah, which is funny... that's a very, like, video gamey idea of, like, let's justify why the characters are all going to explain their powers by, like, well, it just makes it stronger if they do it. It just feels like this show it's always trying to, like, cover all of its bases of making sure you get, like, why, like, this thing was possible. And I'm like, I don't know if I needed to know all of the reasoning, because it really does take him a few minutes to get to the long and short of it is that he has a demon that is in his stomach that he's capable of, like, shrinking and swallowing.
Yeah.
And that demon is capable of holding, like, an arsenal inside of it.
Yeah, so you can't detect it because he has no cursed energy. He's got a heavenly pact. And my understanding of that is a heavenly pact is some kind of thing that is forced upon you by fate, and then you can't really do much about it. So his heavenly pact basically makes it so he has no cursed energy, but because he has no cursed energy, he's got like super strength, and his senses are so heightened that even though he doesn't have cursed energy, he can detect curses and things like that and kill them.
I've got to say, you know, I really want to be like, I want to be kind to this show because I think it's kind of cool and I get what people like about it, but it's really funny how against this show the girls in our Discord and our chat are. They're all just like, it doesn't make sense. It's really stupid. Like, the more you think about it, the worse it gets. Hunter x Hunter is so much better. I'm going to tell you right now, Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorite anime. I could not explain to you fucking anything about the Nen system. I am not a power systems person. I am interested in human relationships of characters.
So you have to like build up Nen, and then there's like 5 different states of there's 5 different types of Nen application, and there's like 3 different types of like Nen states.
I'm just thinking about like I love action in general. Like, I'm a big fan of violent action anime. But, like, the first really violent anime that I remember, besides Ninja Scroll, leaving an impact on me, was Rurouni Kenshin OVA, which is, like, the backstory of Kenshin and how he became the Batosai. And, like...
Hey, doesn't that show... Isn't that going right now?
Yeah, there's a remake of Kenshin going that I hear is not really worth checking out. And, the author's a pedophile, so it's hard to really like Kenshin. But, so in the backstory arc, like, it starts off with, like, Kenshin's whole fucking family getting murdered, or, like, the aunts who were taking care of him at this, like, group of slaves, they all get killed. So you see a bunch of people die, and then you see another dude show up and fucking slice through all those bandits in a really badass fashion. And you see Kenshin kill a whole bunch of people as he's, like, emotionally
Wait, I thought he doesn't use his sword.
This is before that.
Oh.
And then he fucking, at the end of the episode, cuts a guy in half vertically who's, like, flying at him in a ninja fight right in front of the guy's fiancé, and gets blood all over everything and makes it rain blood.
And then he marries that guy's fiancé because he asserted his dominance.
I can remember every single, like, action scene from that, in part because they all look fucking sick. Like, and yes, he does hook up with her.
Based.
That's where the rest of the OVA goes. But it's a secret ploy to get vengeance and murder him. Anyway, so
Jeez.
So, like, every single time, like, somebody gets killed, not only does it look badass, but it has, like, some kind of emotional consequence for the story. And, like, the action's all really fast. It's just somebody getting, like, cut in half or whatever. Looks fucking badass. But there's no, like, explanation. There's no, you know, like, here's how he did that. It's like you see Kenshin run up a wall and then slice somebody in two, and you're like, fuck yeah, you know?
Well, how else are you supposed to slice somebody in two? You know, you gotta look extra cool while you do it by running up a wall.
The point I'm trying to get at with this overlong tangent is that, like, I like action when I don't have to have anything explained. Like,
sure.
Either because it's fairly realistic or because it's so unrealistic that who gives... Like, in Gurren
Record
Lagann,
of Ragnarok is really, really bad about that. Like,
about
they have
way
to
too much
explain every
explanation.
single thing.
I mean, that's, like, all that show is, though.
Yeah.
Is just, like, here's how...
I kind of just skip and just watch the fight scenes most of the time. I don't really care about the backstories or whatever.
The point in that show, and I even think that's a little bit more interesting because it's like, well, how do we create shonen powers out of, like, the mythology that already exists around these, like, gods and heroes and such? In Jujutsu Kaisen, it's just all made up. So it's just like, how do I make a crazy ass system of justifications for all the weird shit and crazy shit I'm gonna draw, you know? But, like, this entire arc, this whole 4 episodes, is like Gojo and Geto are transporting a girl to be a sacrifice, but they don't want to have to sacrifice her. Meanwhile, another guy is wearing down
there's like a bunch of different people that
Gojo.
Toji sent to wear Gojo down.
Yeah, a guy is wearing Gojo down so that he can kill him and kill the girl. And then he almost does that. But turns out Gojo's really strong, and so he beats the guy. That's it. That's 4 whole episodes. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a lot of story happens. There's just so much explanation
it's just
of
how
why.
important everything that happened was, I think. That's what I've been able to grasp.
It was...
Because it's the awakening of Gojo's power. Like, it's how he becomes able to, like, use things.
And look, I think there are badass sequences in this episode. Like, there's all these fucking torqued animation bits. Something I thought was really interesting about this episode overall is that the bad guy is, like, the main character of this episode. Like,
he's, like, of the past 4 episodes. He walks on ramen. He forgets his kid's name. He remembers his kid's name.
I think it felt very ensemble for the most part. But this episode really tried to dive into this guy's head and almost be, like, from his perspective. Where, like, it starts off with him monologuing on and on and on about his powers. He wins the fight, and then we kind of just follow him through his day.
He doesn't kill Geto because he doesn't want to release Geto's cursed spirits everywhere.
Which, like, you know...
also, this was a really cool sequence. So, in the Geto fight... Geto summons, like, a creepy woman who is obsessed with scissors, who asks, like, would you go out with me, or something like that?
Do I look pretty?
Yeah, do I look pretty? And Toji immediately realizes and just says, you're not my type, and then, you know, swords up all the scissors around.
Well, because his speculation is, like, it's probably a space that will automatically close if I answer whatever question it is.
Yeah.
But it turns out there's a wrong answer, and that'll activate the scissors.
And he activated the scissors.
Again, a lot of explanation for what's going on. But it looks trippy and
then he
cool.
kicks this kid's ass.
Beats the fuck out of Geto. Yeah, he wins. He just beats everybody's ass, and then he's like delivering the body of the girl to the
weird
church
religious
or whatever
cult that he's been working for. Who the main guy behind them monologues for quite a few minutes about how they're going to defile her body in some way because their scripture said to do it, and it's going to bring about the end of Tengen-sama's rule or whatever, and that's going to be really bad, apparently. That's not good. We don't want that. That's what I learned.
Amy Worrell in the chat said, on the topic of stories that are all about action, do you like stuff more like the style of Jujutsu Kaisen or God of High School? I loved God of High School.
I haven't seen God of High School.
I talked about that back on the Canted show, and that show was... Stuff was just constantly happening. It was super ADHD. You know, they were... It was pretty much just a tournament show, but, like, again, the focus was all on the emotional stakes for the characters.
Is it gods in high school, or is it a god of high school?
They're just fighting. It's just a bunch of people fighting.
Oh, okay.
It's just a big tournament where a bunch of people beat each other up, trying to be the god of high school. It's kind of similar to Record of Ragnarok, except that... Again, the big difference being Record of Ragnarok is people talking about why their powers work a whole lot, and most of their personalities are kind of the same. That's a struggle I have with a lot of these shonen anime as well, is that the characters, like, most of their personality is just cool person with cool powers, like, badass who's gonna beat you up. You know, like, most of the time they're just shit-talking each other. I feel this way about JoJo or One Piece as well, where, like, tons and tons of characters with tons and tons of cool powers, not a huge roulette of personalities between them. And you know, the chemistry of how different people come together is a big part of what I look for in anime that I don't really get from a show like this at all. The characters... Gojo and Geto have some chemistry... But that's like really it in this show.
All right, real quick, because someone in the chat said it. The woman with the scissors is called the Kuchisaki Onna. She is a Japanese urban legend. She walks around with a pair of scissors or a knife or something like that. She wears a mask, and she asks you if she is pretty. The reason for this is she has had her mouth slit open like the Joker, baby.
Oh, shit.
And so if you answer no... I believe she just kills you.
Amazing.
If you say yes, she will show you that her mouth is slit from ear to ear, and then if you say no after that, because she'll ask the question again, she'll kill you. If you say yes again, she will cut your mouth open like hers. Methods that can be used to survive an encounter with Kuchisaki Onna include answering her question by describing her appearance as average or by distracting her with money or hard candies. Do you think she'd accept mints?
Maybe. So, yeah, this conversation that they have with the bad guys is basically them just being like, yeah, we're real bad guys. We're bad.
Yeah.
You know? There's this really odd scene. So, I don't...
It's the guy who hired Toji to do this.
The guy who hired Toji is basically telling him, like, man, you really make things difficult for me, and you don't really do what I say that well. You kind of suck a little bit. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Hey, take me to the restaurants where you take clients. He's, like, trying to be friends with him, and the guy's like, I really don't want to hang out with you in
I made
capacity.
a promise at one point that I was only going to see you for work or to fight you or something like that. It was weird.
Yeah, so he just kind of walks away, and you have this moment of Toji just kind of being like, aw.
Lamo, I caught you all live. I should join you lot for one of these. Absolutely. That would be great.
Yes, Nino will have to be a guest on here at some point. Shout out. But yeah, so he wants to hang out with this guy. The guy just kind of blows him off. It is an oddly, like, humanizing scene for this character in my mind, where we see how, like, him just being such a fucking douchebag all the time. Like, yeah, of course this guy wouldn't have any friends. People wouldn't want to be around him. But it's rare that a character like that, like, asks, like, is hoping to hang out and then gets turned down. I just thought it was almost adorable.
And then he's leaving the compound, and Gojo is just kind of floating in the air outside, and he's I
think when he first shows up, he's just like standing there, like bleeding and holding himself, and he's like, "Haha, I'm alive, bitch!" And he's like, "What?" And he's
Toji
like, "Yeah."
goes, "He's high."
I love that moment. So yeah, so he shows up and immediately is like, hey, look, turns out if you multiply negative energy against itself, it creates positive energy, and so you can
remember
heal yourself.
How even if you try to understand what's going on in this show, you're just not going to? It doesn't work like double or triple negatives. No one knows what's going on.
I've been told
Gojo
this is important.
Immortal.
Multiple people will gain abilities like this where they can use, like, basically use curse energy like a gauge. Somebody compared this to a Hollow Knight mechanic earlier in the Discord. Apparently, like, there's gauges where you can either buff, like, defense or healing, or, like, use some of your defense buff for I don't know.
Well, yeah, in Gojo's explanation of all of this, he says something to the effect of, well, as soon as you landed a hit on me, I knew I wasn't going to attack anymore. So I reversed all of my energy to defense, and I did this super magical reversed negative cursed positive negative curse.
He didn't know if he could do it.
I've never done it before, but I managed to do it this time.
Somebody he met who could do it tried to explain it to him, but he didn't understand.
But then it all made sense.
And so, yeah, the villain sees him and goes, he's fucking high. I
DMT.
Yeah, I
DMT.
think that's the implication here, is that, like, because he literally fucking died, his brain released the DMT, and, like, because he was already doing this, you know, I've already compared his ability to an acid trip before, like the fact that it just causes time to infinitely dilate onward or whatever. Like, he can
so it's kind of that. I mean, sure, he can kind of slow down time. His ability at its base level is technically that he can slow everything, like the space between a thing and himself, down infinitely.
Yeah, well, or
he can expand the
space.
Infinity of
yeah, like he's making the smaller spaces bigger or something. I don't know. It's very much to me on the level of in the anime, a certain magical index. There's a character called Accelerator, and his ability is that he can control vectors. And, like, that literally just means anything traveling in any direction, he can make it go in a different direction. So it's
pretty cool power.
The applications for it are fucking through the roof in that series.
He is the strongest sorcerer in all of him existing.
Yeah, so that's definitely seems to be what they're going for here, is like, yeah, I just wanted to have a guy whose power is just so fucking ridiculous that, like, you know, you literally have to spend 4 episodes wearing him down to have a shot, and then he just learns a better ability, and you're fucked. That's basically what happens here. Like, his attempt to murder Gojo just taught him something that would make him almost unstoppable.
So Gojo uses a new technique. We had seen in the prior episodes he wasn't really able to use blue, But we had seen him use blue once in the first fight with Toji, and it was like a black hole kind of thing that he swung around and absorbed a bunch of stuff. And then in this fight, we saw him use red, I think for the first time. And red, I guess, is the inverse. It pushes things away. And this time, oh my god, it's purple. He snapped his fingers and he combined them.
I think he has a yellow too, or green. Wait, green, blue, and red? And then purple? He had 3 attacks.
He has green. Well, yeah, it's purple, red, and blue.
No, he had 3 before purple. He uses 3 that the guy is prepared for, because he's like, he has the inverse, the forward momentum, and the other the combination or whatever.
Oh, infinity, limitless, or
I don't know. Purple's imaginary technique, where he creates imaginary space through paradoxes or something. I don't fucking have any idea what's going on when he explains this. It looks sick.
But so anyway, he combines red
The whole
and
scene
blue,
looks fucking sick.
and then it turns into purple, and he goes, "Oh, most of the Gojo clan doesn't even know about this one, because I've had these other techniques that he was prepared for. No one can be ready for this one." And so,
according to Nino, reverse cursed energy is literally the power of positive vibes.
I like it. I'm digging it.
So he was just so vibing so hard on his death bed that he vibed to the next to 5D.
That sounds like something I would like to do.
Yeah, cursed energy comes from bad vibes, so multiplying the bad vibes, turn them inside out into positive vibes. DMT is actually not a bad comparison. Sure, yeah, alright. He did a lot of drugs from his brain, and he fucking learned purple.
We got brain drugs.
And he fires purple through this man's fucking body. Look how sad this guy is about
I know.
dying.
His reaction is like, he reaches where his torso should be. He looks at the blood, and he just kind of stands there.
Like, aw.
And Gojo says, "Any last words?" And he says, "No." And then he thinks for a second. And then he says, "In 2 or 3 years, my son is going to be sold to the Zetting
Little
clan."
brother. His little brother.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought, no, it's his son.
Is it really? I
Yeah,
thought it
it's
was
his son, because he
brother.
forgot his son's name.
I see.
That's Megami, by the way, his son.
This long sequence of like camera pulling back through this dark tunnel towards him being dead, and like he's explaining how he realizes like why he lost is he just got overwhelmed with his desire to take down what he had just realized was the ultimate sorcerer. I'm being shown a fucking adorable cow right now, so anyway, this man is dead. Goodbye. Also, this girl is dead. There's a post-credit sequence where they're carrying her body out of the sacrifice chamber, and they're just like, what if we killed all these people?
Because these are the religious believers or whatever.
And it's literally Gojo who's
yeah,
just
Gojo's like, hey, can
Geto,
we kill everyone?
What if we just killed them all? These guys suck.
He says, the way I'm feeling right now, I doubt it would affect me at all.
And Geto's like, nah, it wouldn't really do anything.
These are just low-level believers. They're not even the
I
high
swear to
up.
God, I've seen this exact scene in some other edgy shonen where they're like, can we please kill? They're like, no, we better not, but we all want to.
Like Mushoku Tensei.
This is like, this feels very like Full Metal Alchemist to me. I feel like this would happen in that.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
Can we just kill all these guys? Toji died because he couldn't commit. He let his pettiness get the best of him.
That is true.
I think to the implication of what he was saying there seemed to be like he really didn't think he had lost until in that moment seeing those powers and being like, well, I want to beat that. And it's like, you should have retreated. Like, you should have gone back, figured out what you had to do, get stronger. But he just did not want to believe that he was weaker than that guy in that moment. And
Rip.
it was wrong.
Rip Hot Dad.
So yeah, that's Jujutsu Kaisen. It was a fun episode because it had lots of crazy looking scenes and powers. There was just a lot of explanation for things that didn't make more sense having all that explained. I mean, I got the whole stomach thing at the start. Like, I got it by the time he finished the explanation, when he finally was like, and I've got this thing and it shrinks, and I'm like, oh, that's where you're going with all this. Like, everything he was saying about being an invisible man or whatever, I was just like, okay, what? Again, made more sense to me when I went back through to collect screen caps. And like, it's not that it doesn't add up that he was talking in like an ass backwards way to stall for time because it powers him up to describe his powers. There's just a lot to take in. All right.
I hope we see Toji again.
Zombie.
This was a strange episode. It was fun. I liked it. But we opened on a host club, a host with a red streak in his hair and a red rose on his lapel.
We don't know how relevant this character is yet, because in spite of him starring in the cold open of this episode, where he's basically this host club is sheltering a bunch of people, and they've got a bunch of guys who just go out and fucking fight off the zombies whenever they, try to get too close. It's a kind of a dramatic scene. Nothing really funny happens here.
But he's comforting a kid, and that means he's a good person,
Yeah.
So we're happy about that.
It's the host club after the apocalypse. But we quickly cut away from that, and we never really get a solid explanation of what that was all about in this episode.
We get some cutbacks.
Some teasers.
But, what's our character? What's the guy's name?
Oh, fuck, I forgot his name.
Was Zom 100 Man. He realizes that he can text people now. Because he gets a bunch of texts, and so he texts all of his friends that he misses from high school.
Yeah, the internet suddenly comes back online, apparently because there's just, I guess it was under DDoS, so many people were trying to use it, and then as soon as enough people died that it was accessible again, that it came back on.
There's a scene where he is very sad, looking out of his balcony, realizing this, where he goes, wow. The only reason it's working is because so many people have died. Which I feel like pretty obligatory for this show. Just once an episode. Remember, hey, there's zombies. We're going to be sad about it.
Well, he doesn't feel as bad about the zombies as he does about the fact that for the last few years that he was working at that job,
he never talked to any of his friends.
Yeah, he basically lost contact with everybody because he was so busy having no life. So he's like, man, I should have quit a long time ago, but we're going to make it good. We're going to say hello to my homies. And here's the guy he remembers as being his best friend is currently holed up in an S&M dungeon.
Which is awesome.
I do think that's a very fun place to have chosen to put him, because specifically there is a woman strapped to
an X.
To the big X machine, but she's already been bitten, so she's just been thrashing as a zombie there.
And his hotel is surrounded by zombies. There's a bunch inside. He's been subsisting off of water for 3 days.
He didn't bother just killing her.
Yeah, right? It is weird. Why didn't he do that?
I just think he doesn't have it in him.
It's because he's too funny, I think. He couldn't think of a funny enough way to do it.
Yeah.
We will learn later that this man is quite a funny guy. But yeah.
I just think he's soft compared to our main character, and we're going to really see that as this episode goes, But yeah, he's just been subsisting off of water, and then he suddenly gets a call from his homie, and...
right before he gets a call from his homie, he is thinking about his homie, and right as he starts thinking about his homie, he goes, why am I thinking about him right now?
Yeah.
And then the phone call hits, and it's weird.
Well, because what he was remembering about him is that he always laughed at his jokes. And what he remembers about this guy is, he was a popular dude as it is, but he was always trying to be the life of the party and make everybody laugh. And, I took the screen cap because you may notice that he is naked and holding a rugby ball in front of his
You
neck.
didn't comment on that while we were watching it. Did you notice
that? I
that
had not noticed it at first. But this is his thing. He likes to get naked at parties.
Yeah, he likes just in general. It seems.
I've heard of some guys like this who get drunk and take all their clothes off. So Bird's tugging at collar like, oh shit, it's me. But anyway, as he's riding to meet up with this dude who's like, how the fuck are you gonna get to Shinjuku? There's no way, it's full of zombies. He's remembering that the last time that they hung out,
they had a fight.
Yeah, so basically he was trauma dumping about how his job sucks. And this guy's job is apparently great. He's dating a model with big-ass titties. He's hanging out with members from the Japanese diet. He's like, oh, they spend money on a whole different level, man. He's, meeting celebrities and shit. I don't know exactly what, some kind of, sales job. I wasn't clear on it. But, his natural charisma has led him places. And after talking about it enough, our main dude is just like, you know what? I don't want to hear about your fucking good life, man. Mine's shit. And he's like, well, you should just quit your job. And he's like, it's not that easy. And they get drunk and they leave. So he feels bad about that interaction. On the way to this guy's place, there's a moment where it seems like the whole battalion that was fighting with Red Streak host man has all been wiped out, and he's about to die. He's given up hope, and then all of a sudden a loud horn starts blaring throughout the streets.
Who could be doing that, I wonder?
And it turns out that our guy has strapped a rugby ball to a horn on a car that is like about to explode because it's on fire. So all the zombies go up to that, and then they all blow up, I guess. But it saves this guy's life, and he's just shocked. That's all we really see of him. Don't really know what he's gonna do. Don't know what his deal is. Don't know if he's a main character or something. Haven't really figured that out yet. So anyways, our guys meet up, and he's like, I'm so fucking sorry. You were right. I should have quit my job. I was an asshole. And he's about to be like, hey, I should apologize too. But then Zombos bust in, and they're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Friggin' Zombos.
So they run up to the roof, and
they put a bunch of like industrial fans in front of the door.
Yeah, and they
I don't know
block
why
off
there's
the
so
door,
many of them.
And then he's like, we gotta jump to the other rooftop. And the other guy's
then
like,
he
no
does
fucking
it.
way.
He does it. He
Yeah.
actually does it. It's
Main character
impressive.
immediately does it, and he's just like, yeah, fucking take that, now you. And he's like,
I can't do that.
I don't think I can do this, bro. I was like ready to give up. I don't really got the energy. Like I'm feeling like maybe this is it for me, man. Like I don't know. And then he starts trauma dumping. And he's like, the truth is, I didn't like that fucking job. Those relationships I had didn't mean anything. I was always putting on a fake smile and trying to be like, you know, like a normie. But in truth, I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I just want to be funny. I just want to be a funny guy. And main guy's like, look, man, now's your chance. You know, I quit my job. You quit your job. You got to jump over here, dog. It's a big, lengthy, drawn-out, tear-filled, bromantic scene.
It's like 5 minutes long, and
it's
2.5
a lot.
of those minutes, I was just kind of going like, okay, so can he jump already?
Yeah,
can he jump?
just jump it. Jump it, buddy.
And by the end of it, I was like, okay, I hope he gets eaten now.
Well, it was starting to feel like in The Boys, like this scene would have ended with him like falling and just tripping and dying, and like that would have been.
Well,
it.
like the character who Homelander goes to save from committing suicide,
Yeah.
and then he bullies her into doing it.
Yeah, exactly. That was like the how it was starting to feel because of how long it was taking for them to have this emotional. But it really is, again, the most bromantic thing I have seen since like Gurren Lagann. Like it's I mean, this guy jumps through the air and tears all his clothes off.
And then fails to stick the landing.
And then when his friend has to help him up, he scrapes his balls on the side of the building and hurts
Hey, it
himself.
happens.
Only if you take all your clothes off, like a psychopath. He's like, you know, that's my thing. It's my new joke. And he's like, new? You literally always, this is all you do is take off your clothes. They are just hanging out naked, just a couple of naked boys on the roof.
Hey, if you don't get naked with your boys, what's wrong with you? No homo, of course.
It's weird that this show feels the most like boys culture. I don't know. I guess out of all the shows on here, like in a way that's for me like unrelatable but adorable. It's like it's not quite gay, not quite, but it is incredibly bromantic. Like I don't know, Top Gun. Does that check out?
Maverick and Goose. I haven't seen Top Gun either. I have no idea.
All right, let's move on.
Oh,
Another gay
apparently
anime.
this show, according to Bandai, is not gay. There's no homosexuality going on here.
Wait, is that a thing? Did somebody
apparently,
say
I had
that?
seen someone say it on Twitter.
I really hope that's not true. That's hilarious.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
So
This episode was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one.
yeah, you really liked this one?
Yeah, because it was cool. It was fun. It was good.
I did not get that much out of this one.
Ooh, let me just unscrew my ice cold water real quick for no explicit reason. Let me just hold it. You know, I'm just gonna move it over towards you for no explicit reason. Don't
Oh
worry.
no, I'm getting
Just
water.
gonna dump
no,
some of your
no. So the
No
Witch from
explicit
Mercury.
reasons.
So some people in the chat were saying that you know, when you stack this up next to Utena, it's kind of
It falls flat.
falls short. I also think that's true of just the original Gundam, because like
True.
by the time we're 3 episodes into Gundam, like, they've, like, a ton of fucking people have died. We've had, like, a massive amount of world establishment. There's been multiple encounters between Amuro and Char, a lot of fleshing out of, like, their personalities and like, the problems that they have with the sides that they're on. This show feels like there's lots of setup for shit that doesn't matter or isn't interesting yet. Like, stuff that will obviously matter later, but, like, right now I don't care at all about some of, like, the side characters or the plots they're setting up. Like,
I don't know. The student council is kind of interesting, but that's just because they have cool designs.
I feel like they're a lot less memorable. Like,
there's not a Wakaba or a Mako, you know?
That's true. I think the student council is a good place of comparison to Utena, where it falls flat, where, like, what few details we get about the student council members in Utena early on make them seem interesting, make me like, ooh, I want to know more. In this show, I just kind of feel like, man, I hope they matter. Like, I hope they're going to do something. I hope they do have personalities. Like, it just remains to be seen. They are good character designs. So this episode opens with just like, all right, Suleta has to have another duel with...
because the last duel is void, because it might be a Gundam.
Yeah. And she has to win in order to save her ass and the Gundam's ass. And she's just like, but I got all this other shit I'm worried about. I have a whole list of stuff I wanted to do in high school. I want to eat lunch on the roof. I want to call friends by their nicknames. I want to do fun things. And
I want to go on dates.
I want to go on dates. And Silverhair's just like, you can't fucking do any of that. Shut up and win this Gundam fight. So then, meanwhile, the
Guel's dad.
Yeah, his dad's like, hey, we added 5th generation decision-making extension AI to your robot.
Also, right before this, we did learn that Suleta's mom blackmailed Guel's dad.
I think we learned that a little after this.
Shit.
But yeah. Basically, this was a scene... Sometimes I think that a show can, like, play too many cards, like, early on.
Sure.
Like, sometimes I complain about the mystery where I'm like, I don't care because I don't know enough. Sometimes I know too much. With this episode, as soon as we learned that they were, like, putting extra mechanics in his mech, I was like, well, this is gonna be... Like, I know, I can already see the rest of the episode in my mind's eye. Like, they're going to get into the fight, he's going to get upset about the fact that they modified his Gundam, and he's going to lose.
And he's going to have bits now. He has bits now.
He's got bits now, yay. And, yeah, just like, I don't know, the conflict in this episode was not very interesting to me. I think it sets up some potentially interesting stuff, but I also just don't care about any character individually yet. You know, it's just hasn't given me anybody that I'm like, oh, that's the fucking guy right there, you know?
Sure, there's no Mickey like in Utena.
Yes. So the start of this episode, you know, Suleta's like on the phone with her mom, which is explicitly the Char clone helmet wearing woman. And
she says to her mom, hey mom, they're telling me I got a Gundam and they're calling me a witch. What's going on with that?
Now, what the fuck's a Gundam? Why are they doing this? She's like, hey, I didn't raise you no witch. You know, you just take your fucking thing and go win or whatever. And she's like, okay. So there's a scene where the blue-haired girl is like geeking out about her Gundam, and she explains it. Her mom said something about it uses successive spaces concurrently.
Whoa!
What do you think this means? If you had to guess what using successive spaces concurrently...
It moves really fast.
Like, I'm imagining it's like taking okay, in a video game, right? Like Dark Souls, like every input you input counts. So if you press like attack 3 times in a row, then your character's gonna do all 3 attacks. You know, even if it's not like, even if it's way after you input it. Maybe it's just inputting the next 8 inputs all at once or something. Like it's doing predictive future inputs. This is the best I can do to explain what this sounds
I don't get
like.
it. I have no idea. It's a Gundam.
So
Guel comes up with his hair up for, I think, the first time that we've seen him. And Gwell's basically like, hey, you're dumb. I need to take you to the duel. Oh, wait, no, that's not what happens. He just kind of insults her. She runs away from Gwell, and then the guy with, like, blonde hair, short blonde hair, comes up and is like, hey, Mercury, you're all right. You have to come talk to the duel people.
Yeah,
the duel council.
The guy with, like, the greenish hair, he is just kind of fascinated with Suletta. That was established in the last episode. Not really expanded on here. Just the excuse for why he's around. And he's, like, I don't know, mediating their duel or something. He's the announcer. I don't know what he's doing here. He's doing some kind of ritual to initiate their duel. Blonde-haired guy has been, like, assigned to keep tabs on Suletta and her mom because people are like, hey, these people are mysterious and we don't really know what their intentions are. You should fucking find out. And he's like, cool, Bob, I'll do that. Again,
cool, Bob.
This doesn't really go anywhere in this episode, so it's just like set up that I'm like, yeah, okay, that's going to matter at some point. Who is this guy again? What does he do?
He's on the dueling
What
council.
does he care about? Why is he here? Don't know any of this shit yet. The main thrust of the interactions between Suletta and, what did you say his name is? Gwell?
Yeah, Gwell.
Like, I will say the best thing that happens in this episode is the interactions between them where she's very, like, afraid of him physically in real life. I don't know if it's just because she's conflict avoidant or, like, thinks he's going to beat her ass. But she's incredibly confident that she will beat him in Gundam. She's just like, there's no chance you're going to win. I already beat you once. Why do you think you would do any better? And he's just like, because I care more. I had my guard down. And, like, the whole episode, she just kind of keeps telling him, like, you're being very irrational in thinking that you are going to beat me in a Gundam fight because you're just not. And I know this as a fact. And he's being all, like, stubborn about it. Man, I really hate when a writer comes up with some kind of goofy fucking thing that they really feel the need to force down your throat as this stupid if you run you gain 1, if you stand you gain 2.
Oh yeah, she explains this again, which is like the third time.
I think every episode she has gone through explaining what it means that if you stay you gain 2. I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's not entertaining.
It's a cute little pithy thing you say to encourage yourself. It's obviously a clear theme of the show. We don't need it rammed down our fucking throats. I get it. It's like, I appreciate the sentiment of what is being said. I don't think it's like a bad like thing. It's just this is all she has. This is all she fucking talks about. Is this?
If you run, you gain 1, but if you win, 2. You gain 2.
2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths. Everyday man's on the block.
Smoke trees.
Basically, she got that from her mama. The guy's like, oh, your mom, you have a good parent? Well, I don't relate to you anymore. So he walks away, and she's like, I don't get that guy. So the fight in this episode, for me, there was so little emotional stakes going into this fight. It was really hard to care. It took me going back through to even, like... So, okay, they start fighting, they trade blows a little bit, and then she fires a beam rifle, and then the sprinklers come on, and the dad is like, this is exactly my plan, and the idea is...
Oh, right, beam weapons can't work in the rain for some reason. I didn't really get
that.
Yeah,
I don't know why that is.
Maybe it dissipates the heat.
So they're trying to make it out as though because of the fact that it was like too strong of a weapon or something in this environment that it set off the sprinklers. But silver hair girl's like, well, that's obvious bullshit. Like somebody manipulated this. So she takes her machine or just some random machine and goes and finds that these other 2 girls who I don't even remember. Maybe they were established. Maybe they've been in the background.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they hanging out with the guy?
Sabotaging.
Are they the bullies? They must be the bullies who were fucking with her, right?
I thought there were 3 bullies.
I don't know. These girls were the ones who turned on the sprinklers. Again, there was not a scene where he tells them to fuck with something. So, like, when the sprinklers come on, we don't really have a reason to think that, like,
well, there is a scene where,
this
like,
is interloping.
the brother of Guel says something to the effect of, "We don't need that to win," to his dad. They don't say what it is, but...
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This was just, it was a little muddy to me, and I already didn't care about the fight, so, like, when this conflict was resolved, I felt like, oh, there was a conflict? Oh, I guess they just resolved a thing I hadn't noticed that the sprinklers had been a problem. Like, I just hadn't registered that it was now raining and this was a bad thing. I just thought, like, yeah, the visuals, whatever, it's dark and stormy, and this is the fight, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. This was not an easy one to care about for me. How did you feel? You seemed to enjoy this episode. What did you think of the fight scene?
I like to watch the robots fight, okay?
You like to see the big robot
good.
go pow-pow, big pretty
machine? I liked, Miorine can kind of pilot something now. But, yeah, more could have happened, I guess. Hearing you talk about it made me not feel as good about it as I thought I did.
Yeah, I tend to have that effect on anime for people. It's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. We're done with the 2020s. It's time for us to start marching back through time. Right. This guy wants to marry Suletta.
Oh, yeah, that was based.
He got his ass beat so bad that he's decided, there must be love. Alright, Steins Gate. We're going back in time. Because it's a time travel show.
Yeah, I get it. But we can't go back in time with Steins Gate. Only, like, things can. Or messages, right? Can things go back in time?
I don't know. I think maybe you need, like, a lot of energy. But human is dead, so probably not.
You're right, human is dead.
This episode opens, they found out human is dead. They found out there's some kind of shit going on at CERN, but Daru cannot crack it. He can't get through. We don't really make a lot of progress in the narrative in this episode. It's mostly, honestly, just like interpersonal bickering between Okabe and Kurisu.
Don't you mean Christina?
Christina. There's some really fun moments and some really good dialogue, but I won't say that this... Like, I felt like I enjoyed it more watching it than I did actually going back and collecting screen caps, which is rare. Usually when I go back through, I feel like, oh yeah, this... Like, I just saw all the best moments, like, back to back. And this one I was like, maybe nothing really happened in this episode. But there's a lot of, like, hints at things that will happen later, stuff that maybe makes a little more sense if you've already seen the show. Just nothing that's, like, terribly catastrophic. The girl who has come to work at the TV store, she shows up and she
calls herself a soldier.
Yeah, so she's, like, become
Strange.
friends with Mayuri because she gave her one of those line... what are they called? I don't remember the name of the game that they play. But she gave her a gold card, and so she's like, we're friends now. I thought this was adorable.
It was very cute.
Rylink, something like that. But yeah, there's a part where she just starts insisting that she is a soldier. So if you couldn't tell that this girl was being sus as fuck for the last couple episodes, now she's really being sus to the point that Mr. Brown is like...
Mr. Brown.
He's like, why do I get all the weirdos? Like, why is this my life? So we also learn about that Mayuri sometimes just kind of dissociates and puts her hands to the sky, and it's called the Stardust Handshake.
It's adorable. We love Mayuri here. We're not going to say anything mean about her.
We get a little flashback of her doing this on a grave, so the implications are, ever since somebody died, she's been trying to reach out to the stars. And she's like, the stars are there even during the day.
That is very poignant.
Also poignant. Daru is like the universe, constantly expanding. I still remember the first time I ever saw this scene, and I fucking lost my shit when he said this, because it's like they're doing the laundry, and he's got a Ferris Nyan Nyan t-shirt that's like all stretched out, like her face is all warped, and this is their reaction to seeing that. Just, one of my favorite clever insults in anime. One of the best roast lines, I'll say, I've ever heard in an anime. Pretty fucking brutal. So, yeah, there's a scene where basically Kurisu is sitting around in her underwear at home because she doesn't have, like, a change of clothes, and she doesn't want to have to send her laundry to, like, an expensive cleaner. She just wants to go to the laundromat. She ends up running into Okabe just, like, in the street, and he's really harassing her about coming back to the lab and about why she's being so weird about it. And being really grabby, he keeps, like, pulling her around by her jacket and damaging her clothes. Okabe's, like, he's not quite on the level of, like, I'm attracted to Jeffrey Dahmer, but he's definitely, like, a problematic fuck, like kind of hot.
Like he's in defeat?
No, that's too much.
That's not like a problematic fuck.
That's beyond. Okay. No, that's too. I wouldn't.
Okay.
That's in the territory of would not go that far.
I see.
But Okabe is like, kind of good looking, kind of cool, but also just a little bit rough around the edges. Maybe not the best guy.
Woof woof.
Maybe a little bit dangerous. Anyway, he's really trying to convince her to come back to the lab. She overhears that he's doing laundry, so she's like, hey, well, I'll at least come to the laundromat. But his clothes aren't done yet, so they continue squabbling.
Squabble.
That part's
Squabble.
really not that interesting. They really are just kind of... I mean, there's a lot of detail in the communication in this show to understand, like, where characters are misunderstanding each other. Like, how their choice of phrasing or, like, where they're at in their mind causes them to disagree. I just don't get that much entertainment out of watching characters just kind of clash and not accomplish anything for half an episode. But that's a lot of what we're seeing here is basically him trying to get her to be on board with participating at all. Not only because they have a good rapport and some chemistry together, but also because obviously what they're discovering seems really interesting, and she's trying to run away from it because she doesn't really trust it. And he keeps talking about how there's this evil corporation and how they need an IBM computer because of
an IBM 5100
CERN is, at John Titor, and she just snorts and walks away, and he's like, you snorted. You're laughing at me.
Doesn't
you
he grab
me,
her,
bitch.
Right? Is this when the grabbing starts?
I think he had already grabbed her a couple times by this
Because then they grabbed each other back and forth for a little bit there.
Yeah,
that was
a lot
funny.
Of grabbing. So we get to a moment where
there's an Idol Made cafe that we'd seen before, but they're throwing a concert or something.
So, well, it's more than that. It's a card game battle event.
That's what it is.
I actually think this seems really fun.
I liked it a lot.
If I was good at anything, I would do this. I guess you
can get good enough at Go.
I guess this is kind of like when I did the Digibro versus Everybody show, where people just called in to argue with me about shit. This is a similar concept, but with card games, because apparently Ferris Nyan Nyan is god tier at this line game or whatever, and she does events where people come on stage and get their ass beat by her. It sounds like a lot of fun. But apparently she might know something about the IBM 5100, so she challenges Okabe to a match. He uses his special JBACK, J-Baku technique, which is just a funny way of saying Jibaku, meaning suicide or self-explosion. And he just basically loses quickly so that he can get the information, because he said he would get it if he participated at all. But it turns out she barely knows shit anyways. Hey, Kale is here. What's up?
Oh my god, Kale's here?
Shout out.
Hi, Kale.
So yeah, he loses to Ferris Nyan Nyan.
Femboy.
Is Ruka a femboy or a trans girl? Debate it.
I don't know.
We need to throw some polls up. We've been debating it the whole show, and we're gonna keep debating it the whole show. But Ruka, apparently, Ferris had last seen an IBM 5100 at some shrine, and they were like, oh, a shrine in Akihabara must be Ruka's shrine. So they call up Ruka. Kurisu is there, I guess, and she meets Ruka and is like, Christina.
Thank you very much.
Zazambi meets Ruka and is like, Ruka's like, oh, you're so pretty, and she's like, you're even prettier, and Ruka just gets embarrassed.
And then
it's really cute.
Stein, the man himself,
It's like, ignorance is
If only
bliss.
you knew.
Yeah.
And I think he tells her, actually.
It's always difficult with this show because I think the appeal of Ruka is meant to be the insecurity over gender. Like, the fact that Ruka is like, I don't know if I'm a boy or a girl, and it's really confusing, and that's what makes it cute. I don't know. Definitely chaser vibes from this anime, is all I'm saying. But Ruka's fucking adorable. It's not her fault. His fault. I don't know what Ruka would be offended to be called. I don't know if that matters. Death of the author? Death of the author? I'm calling Ruka trans. I think Ruka's a girl. That's what I'm going with. That's my story. That's my truth. Bird has gone to the bathroom, so I guess I'm going to wait a minute before we talk about Monster. Okay, it's time to talk about Monster.
Oh, boy.
This episode actually...
was good.
It is good.
I didn't think we'd see Johan again so soon.
You know, funnily enough, I kind of have the same complaint about this show as I do about Jujutsu Kaisen, which is like only about 4 things really happen in this episode, and there is a lot of explanation of why those things happen. Because like the whole first scene, so okay, in the last episode we established there's this guy, he's a lockpick, he clearly worked with Johan on these murders. And he gets like brained. He gets brought back to life by Tenma at the end of the last episode, and he wakes up and he's like, "The monster's coming! The monster's coming!" So this episode,
who could that be? We've never had another coma-like patient, you know, freaking out about someone before. I don't know who the monster could be. That's very curious.
And you know, there's been candy killings going on again and such. So they're like,
they're
this
killing
must be connected.
They're killing a bunch of like families. Remember,
Yeah.
they're couples, is what it is, and it's not candies. I think they're being stabbed.
Oh, somebody gets killed with candy.
Oh, and then
Or is that in this
Yonkers
no, that's in this
Yonkers is
episode.
behind the people killing, like the couple killing.
Yeah.
Yonkers, the guy who's in a coma or whatever, he's the one who did it with a bunch of other guys, and he knows that all his other guys are dead, and so that's why he knows the monster's coming.
So, like, the start of this episode, it opens with, like, reiterating the scene of him saying the monster's coming, and then the detective basically interviews, like kind of just goes over all the information we already have, and the guy starts freaking out. Tenma's like, "You gotta get out of here," and he's like, "I'm really suspicious of you, Tenma." I don't think we learned anything from this scene. I guess we saw that Tenma was willing to shoo that guy away and like assert authority over someone, because he does say like, "I'm this guy's doctor and I command you to leave," and it's like, I don't really know that he has the authority to say that, but it works, you know. I just think that like authority is a theme of this show, like how people use power and how Tenma, who
He thinks he's doing it right.
Maybe
he is.
Always thinks he's just doing the right thing, but yeah, he definitely uses his power in ways that he doesn't understand the consequences of it. So I guess that's kind of what's going on here a little bit, but not really. So this scene is really weird and kind of funny to me.
Oh yeah, this criminal is just like sitting outside in the garden with Tenma, and the guard guarding the criminal is like, "You can't do that." And Tenma goes, "He needs recreation. Stop being an asshole."
Yeah.
And so they go out to the garden, and the criminal just like bears his soul to Tenma, going, "You know, honestly, I just wanted to buy a watch. I just wanted to watch. That was my whole
first
thing."
He says to Tenma, "You're kind of like my dad, because you
He does
brought
say
me
that.
back to life."
We're not that different in age, but I feel like you're my dad.
Which I do think that's probably something people say to doctors, like, especially someone like this who clearly had no real father figure in his life. It's just like, "Hey, you saved me, now you're my dad." But what's funnier to me is how quickly Tenma accepts this. He's just like, "Oh, I guess I've got a big son now, haha." And it's like, he really does like try to take way too much responsibility for everything. I think it's going to be part of his problem. Like, you know, maybe he didn't need to get as involved with Junkers as he did, which is going to lead to some problems as we go down. Because, yeah, he just starts trauma dumping about how...
Kale says, "Facts, I call my doctor's father often." So.
Fair enough, yeah. He starts going on and on about how he really wanted this, like, clock with a nutcracker on it that was at the watch store. And he broke his first break-in was to try to get it, but he didn't even get it, and he
then
just
he ended
kept
up
doing
being
break-ins.
a robbery man, and it was terrible.
And
he never got the clock.
Never got his hands on that fucking clock, and he's just like, all I wanted was the clock, man. I just want the clock. At first, when I saw this, I thought like really, like his whole life has just been about like a nutcracker clock. Like, damn, like he really wanted that thing. And at first I thought it's a little silly, a little ridiculous, a little bit of like character who's only going to exist for one episode syndrome. Like, how do we give him a plot that you can understand and sympathize with really quick before he dies unceremoniously? At first I didn't think I could really connect with it because I don't give a fuck about a clock or a nutcracker clock.
But like when it's on the hour, if it's multiple, like if it's a 9, let's say, the nutcracker pops out of the clock 9 times. That's pretty cool, you have to admit.
At first I thought, being obsessed with like a clock from when you're like 8 until late adulthood can't relate. But then I just thought if you replace the clock with lesbian sex, I get it. Literally
way
me.
Relatable.
Literally me all of a sudden. So this episode all clicked for me as soon as I thought that clock is just a metaphor for lesbian sex. I could have this exact monologue, and it would all check out 100%. So I get it. I get it now. Anyway, the long and short of what is all happening here, Tenma, of course, goes and buys that clock for the guy because he's rich. And
he blows off a date even to do this. He's supposed to go on a date that that other blonde older man has set up for him.
Yeah.
And the blonde guy's like, you really can't keep blowing off dates like this. I mean, we're supposed to do something. You gotta settle down.
You need to get laid.
Need to get laid.
But no, he's trying to bring the guy a clock, and when he gets to the hospital, the security guard's been murdered with candy, and my guy is running away.
And then Tenma has a moment of realization where he's like, wait. Murdered with candy. A missing patient.
This is
just like 9 years ago.
So then he follows him to a warehouse, and the guy's just like, you need to get out of here, man. This guy's definitely going to kill me. He already killed all my buddies.
And then he's going to kill you, Dr. Tenma. Get out of here.
And then Johan is just like, hey.
Hey, it's me. Remember me? You saved my life. How's
It's
it going,
Johan.
buddy?
What's up? I didn't know how long into the show we were going to learn, obviously we knew, but how long was it going to take before Tenma was going to learn who Johan is? Right now. He just comes out and it's just like,
and
it's
everything,
me.
Too. He's like, hey, I'm the bad guy. Duh.
Not only am I alive and killing people, but I killed the people that got you your job, motherfucker. He, of course, also tells him, you're like my dad. You're just like my parent. You saved my life.
Think this guy, the guy who made this show, has a thing for dads?
I definitely think that part of the message of this show is like, the effects of your actions are like a child that is always being born, and also those effects will end up raising you and making you who you are. Because like part of what Johan is saying here is like, you are like my parent, but also I gave you the last 9 years of your life. Everything good that's happened to you, all this amazing time you spent saving people's lives as chief of surgery, all of that is because I straight up killed those fucking guys that you said were better off dead. And I did it because you said that, as a matter of fact. So fuck you. And then he kills Junkers and just brains him. And then walks away all stone cold, and hey, there's his face.
It's Tenma, it's Liebert, Johan. Wow, look at that.
I would say he crosses the threshold of problematic, attractive person. I think if you're into Johan, maybe you've got a little bit of questions to ask yourself. Maybe some answers for yourself. I know he's got a pretty face, but look at him. He's a fucking monster. He is monster. This guy is literally monster.
He looks scary.
Yeah, no, he looks like a cold motherfucker. Oh shit, I thought this was Naruto the whole time, Kale says. Well...
There's a character named Tenma in Naruto?
This did air around then. I could see how the animation style could kind of give you a Naruto vibe. Basically, the end of the episode, Tenma tells this whole story to the detectives of what he experienced.
Who doesn't believe him.
Yeah, they're kind of they're real sus about him, as they have been.
There is a character,
and then he collapses and cries in the streets again. I suspect going to be a lot of seeds of Tenma just collapsing in tears.
Gotta love that from your main character.
So yeah, this was it was kind of like, all right, the thing, like, again with this show, an issue we described back in the first episode is that, like, it's almost impossible to even summarize the premise of this show without having spoiled these first 4 episodes. Like, this is the plot. It took 4 episodes to really get the plot established, but now we're
here and it's great. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea where it's going to go from here. None. Like, I didn't know how long it would be before he found out it was the guy. He knows it's the guy. Okay. What next?
The detective who is just constantly, like, tapping with his hand is my favorite thing ever. I know there are people who really do things like that, and I wish I could do it. It seems like a fun ability.
He's got such a stretched out face.
I don't want to have his face.
He looks like somebody's always holding his face from the sides and pulling on it, It's time for Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Oh my god, this episode is great. I love it. Mickey is bae. Mickey's the best. I want to make Mickey play piano for me. Also, would transition save her?
Would transition save her is a great question. I don't know if I had ever really... I mean, so for me with Utena, I first saw the show in 2007, way before the word trans was in my lexicon. I would not have even been asking myself if the characters could be trans back then.
The word lexicon is not in my vocabulary. Could you please enlighten me?
It means the same thing.
Oh. Aren't you the one who, like, hates when there's 2 words for one thing?
Well, they mean slightly different things.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah, this I don't know if I would say that whether Miki is trans or not, the themes that are explored by Miki's story are highly relevant, at least to me as a trans person, like stuff that I definitely feel like I get because of transness, but not necessarily not necessarily automatically make you trans, basically, is what I'm saying. So I don't know if I'm going to call Miki trans, but, I mean, Miki's supposed to be the youngest character. They've got the least figured out about themselves. The character is given a woman's voice and a lot of very feminine mannerisms and hobbies. Everybody kind of treats Miki like just like a virginal cherry boy,
Well, so Miki plays the piano, and he is looking for, like, a special thing that's going to make a spark,
an
that's going to make his piano that much better.
Yeah.
And a couple times throughout this episode, talking to Anthe, like just like a little sting of like 2 or 3, 4 notes plays, and it cuts to like written music, which was interesting.
Well, so the cold open of this episode is Miki on the dueling stage, like, I'm gonna fight you for Anthe. I think the main reason this scene exists is because there is not a duel in this episode.
There's not.
So they needed you to know that we are, in fact, building towards a duel by the end of the next episode. But yeah, he says that he needs her in order to find his special spark. So, like, that's explicitly what he's fighting for, and we're going to see what that means throughout this episode. And yeah, this is the first episode of the show that's, like, so fucking dense that I took like a ton of screen caps, and there's only so much I can say because I don't want to start spoiling the next episode where we're really going to learn why Miki be like this.
Oh, is it because his sister sucks?
Kind of, yeah.
Is this his sister?
No, Nanami is Toga's sister. And so basically Miki's hanging out playing piano, and Nanami, who is just kind of a social climber and wants to be friends with everybody cool, is hanging out near his piano. This is a very Snoopy scene. Like that one girl who's always hanging out on Linus's piano. Do you know what I'm talking about? You ever seen Snoopy? Yeah. She's doing the Snoopy thing.
The Peanuts is what you're looking for.
Peanuts, yeah. She's bothering him and like complimenting him. Apparently, he was the one playing piano at the party in the previous episode.
Whoa.
Oh, continuity. It makes sense because I'm pretty sure they played that same song that he keeps playing throughout this episode. Which every time I think about the fact, like whenever it's podcast day and I'm like, all right, we're going to have to watch Utena today, I like start thinking this song.
You were listening to the Utena soundtrack as you were editing.
I was. It's so good. But yeah, basically the thrust of this conversation is Nanami is trying to compliment Miki, and he's just kind of like not really paying attention to her, but is answering the questions and explaining that he's missing this feeling of inspiration. He's trying to get something back. He thinks maybe at first he thinks the piano's out of tune, and she's like, "We literally just tuned this thing." And he's like, "Maybe it's me that's out of tune, you know?
Whoa.
I just can't quite figure out how to put my feelings into the music. I can't figure out how to get the phrasing right, you know, just something's off." But specifically what he's hoping to happen is that she will hear this tune.
Ooh.
That, like, whoever he's waiting to hear this song will hear his playing and will care about him or care about the playing or something. And Nanami thinks that this is about Anthe because he has a photo of Anthe in his notebook, and he calls the song that he's playing The Sunlit Garden.
But to be honest, that's not a bad guess, because pretty much
No.
everybody is into Anthe in this show.
That is true, and Miki does like Anthe a lot, and to an extent he's going to end up fighting for her in the next episode, but it's all based in projection. We're going to get into that. Yeah, he's saying, no matter what I do, I can't find the right note to follow, so he's just really sad about, like, you know, not having inspiration, but he thinks Anthe is going to give it to him. So Nanami, of course, after hearing this, is like, oh, Anthe is fucking making somebody in the student council emotional again? I better handle that bitch, and sends her goons to go slap her around, because it wouldn't be Utena if Anthe didn't get slapped by the end
I really
of the
thought it was
episode.
going to be Seonji again, honestly.
No, I don't think he's really going to be, or I don't think he's going to slap her again.
That's good.
I think
I'm
it's
happy
mostly
about that.
these bitches. But yeah, so they're all mad because they think that she has fucked with Miki in some way. But he actually shows up and is like, hey, get the fuck away from her. She didn't do shit. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But basically he finds out that Anthe and Utena are not very good in their grades. Utena apparently is very bad at math.
Well, it's not even that. I don't think Anthe's bad at grades. I think it's just that she's trying to ask Miki for help because Utena doesn't know anyone.
Okay. Well, he's mostly helping Anthe, though. Like, Utena's kind of studying by herself. In any case, like, he, there's a scene where Wakaba's, like, accosting Utena for having bad grades in math. And there's particularly a moment I thought was funny where she tells her, you should really cultivate a sense of logic. And Utena's like, oi. Like, whoa, hold on. Like, you know,
Not
you're
bad
trying to say
advice.
I don't got no logics just because I can't math? I thought that was really funny. But yeah, basically Miki figures out that he can get closer to Anthe because of the fact that he can help correct her papers. There's a cute scene of Yuri, like, discovering him doing this, and he's like, do you ever realize that happiness can be sometimes closer than you expect? And
Is
she's
this
like,
his
"What?"
sister?
No.
Damn it.
His sister's got blue hair, like him.
Oh, I see.
She's not been introduced yet, but yeah, basically she's Yuri's just like, yeah, I knew you'd be here in the library studying, you're a nerd. And he's like, actually, I'm correcting papers. So yeah, he ends up hanging out with Anthe and helping her with her studies, and there's a moment where he says that she reminds him of a girl he knows.
Let me tell you about a girl I know. Anyway.
So, the important thing about this episode is Anthe reflects this image of, like, pure femininity that, and just, like, politeness and niceness and just, like, being a good person that Miki is obsessed with. I will tell you right now.
Tell me.
When we learn about Anthe's real self, if Miki knew what what's really behind her, he would not be interested. He would be probably
Is it
terrified.
A bad thing? Is she mean? Is she spooky?
Not exactly, but her life is very complicated in ways that he would not be able to handle or understand.
She is the Rose Bride.
But all he sees in her is the properties that remind him of his sister. We'll learn it's his sister by the end of the episode, but we don't really learn anything about her. But I guess we'll be able to get into it more next week. But everything about his relationship is this projection of what he sees as this beauty that he has inside of himself that he understands only through the memory of a time he spent with his sister and an image he has of her that he thinks he's recapturing through Anthe. They're like, oh, I found that image again, and now I'll be able to be cool again.
Now I can play the piano, woo!
Where that does feel very trans, and the messaging to me is like, so for me, before transitioning, for the longest time, I basically was always searching for a, like, not even that I had to, like, know them or meet them, but, like, a woman who agrees with me because I felt like it would justify my thinking. Like, if I think something about...
What do you think I'm doing with you?
Like, if I met, like, a woman, especially a hot woman, who, like, shared the same belief I had in something, it felt to me like, well, if it checks out with me and with girls, then it must be okay. Like, it was like my own approval was never enough. Like, anything I think or any... I don't know, it's hard to, like, explain this in abstract, but it was very broad. Like, just, I would all the time have these moments where, like, maybe I feel a certain way about something, but I can't take my own feelings seriously. But if I meet a woman who feels that way, then I suddenly feel like it makes sense. And again, for me, it was always this, like, this deflection of, like, well, you know, only... I don't know, like, just a feeling like only a woman's opinion matters on these things, you know? And, like, there's no reason that would ever be true other than, like, my sort of, like, shame at seeing myself as a man and thinking that, like, I, in that category, like, couldn't have opinions on certain things. Again, it's hard to explain this in the abstract. It'll be a lot easier to talk about this character when we learn about his sister in the next episode, but, and exactly what he's projecting onto Anthe. But yeah, I get it. I kind of relate to what's going on here. And this is my favorite of the shadow puppet scenes yet. They tell a little story.
They are the best. The whole episode, I was just like, shadow puppet, shadow puppet, shadow puppet.
They tell this story about how one of them, I guess she was with a man for a time, and he always just, like, put her on a pedestal and worshiped the ground she walked on as a woman. But then he found out that she, like, eats big bowls of garlic ramen and,
that was funny.
And something else kind of gross, and realized that she's not who he really thought she was, and runs off. And, like, I don't know. I definitely had, like, an arc of this kind of like when I was in my teens, maybe even around Miki's age, probably was when I was really, like, putting the pussy on a pedestal, so to speak. Like, I just kind of, like, saw women as an object of worship, not really as, like, you know, just, like, regular human beings, so to speak. And I don't know if Miki's quite on that level. He's more, like, chivalrous, but I don't think he, like, only is that way towards women, necessarily. But there's definitely, like, this championing of femininity that Miki has going on. Like, whatever he sees specifically as, like, the traits in Anthe and his sister that he sees as, like, divine is like, this is what I need to protect. This is what my existence is about.
The Madonna whore complex.
Yeah, exactly. He sees her as a Madonna. So, and Nanami, this is where the episode really spirals out of control. A different type of duel, we will say. A duel of the mind. And we get into the surreal humor of Revolutionary Girl Utena, where the comic victimization of Nanami will just continually escalate into weirder and weirder shit as this show goes on.
This is very reminiscent of the episode in Naruto where they're trying to get Kakashi's mask off, where it's like he fell for it and then it backfires on them in some spectacular way. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I just can't remember it. I'm sure I have. But
instead, in this show, Nanami keeps bringing out animals and going, Operation, I'm going to pretend that Anthe has a snake in her bedroom.
Yeah. Well, first she has a snail. She's going to put a snail in her pencil case. And she keeps imagining, like, the entire scenario that's going to play out before it comically reverses. It is always the same thing she's imagining. I'm going to put this gross thing in her room and everyone's going to think she's gross. And then, of course, it turns out she already has a gross thing in her room. And it's way grosser than what you thought. She actually has a ton of snails in her pencil case. You thought you were going to put a snake in her drawer. Turns out she has a mongoose in the drawer that eats the snake. The snake that Nanami apparently spent all night trying to catch. So this is where we really start doubling down on, like, how pathetically insane Nanami is. That, like, all she does is sit around and, like, come up with schemes to fuck with people that she thinks are, like, socially beneath her. To the extent that, Anthe lives in her head rent-free. Like, this is what she's doing with her time, is, like, collecting snakes to try to fuck with people. It's pretty funny. This eventually leads to a giant octopus falling on her out of a closet. She's just like, how is this even possible? Like, I must be in a fever dream. Where they're like, oh, that was a float from the parade.
Yeah, I felt bad. I didn't want to get rid of him. He seemed cute. And then
it is fucking
I think
adorable.
Utena goes, hey, weren't you just talking about getting rid of that thing?
Yeah, and of course Nanami also has a actual octopus with her. I assume that Anthe did in fact know that Nanami brought all this stuff and just prepared for exactly this. She was just a step ahead. But the best part of this whole scene is, of course, every time one of these things happens, Miki's just like, oh, how like Anthe to have that. Yeah, of course she would have a thing full of snails. Of course she'd have a...
Yeah, that's Anthe's thing. She's the snail girl.
None of this strikes him as odd or, like, worthy of disdain. So it just... There's a lot of... There's a lot of fun with the differences between how Miki and Nanami see their place in society, where Nanami thinks, I am rich, my brother is the leader of the student council, everybody worships me all the time, I have all the power in every social scenario. Miki,
unlimited power!
At one point, Miki snaps at Nanami for the fact that she is not using proper language to address a senpai, because Anthe is an upperclassman compared to her. So he's just like, hey, how dare you speak disrespectfully to somebody older than you, you know? None of the other pretenses that Nanami's going into their communication with apply from his perspective. So I think that's cool. Just, Nanami is going to be continually punished for thinking the world works in a way that it just doesn't. And,
yeah, that's how it works for rich white girls.
Yeah, I love this shot of her just, like, despondently done. Like, I don't know what to do. I give up. I lose. Very, very cute scene. But then she had made a box. Nanami had made, like, a fancy boxed lunch. Choo-Choo eats it all.
Rude of Choo-Choo. He gets scolded for it, as he should.
Yes.
And then Nanami kind of, like, breaks.
Yes, and then Anthe makes them all shaved ice, but Nanami's not having it. She's like, this isn't dinner. I have a delicate stomach. You're a dumb, crazy bitch. How dare you? And Anthe just kind of walks off, and she's like, maybe I should have made takoyaki for dinner. Maybe I should have cooked that fucking octopus that bitch brought.
Would have been cool. I would have liked to see that.
But then Anthe starts playing piano, and Miki is like, that's the same tone as my little sister's piano playing.
Oh my god.
Maybe she really is the spark that's going to inspire me. We'll see how this goes in the next episode. And I'll say of this show in general, the structure of this show is such... it has, like, 4 distinct arcs. The first 2 are 13 episodes each, and then there's, like a 8 episode and a 4 episode arc, I want to say. And each one just kind of goes deeper and deeper and darker into the character's psychology. So we're still very much in like the light, happy, fun time. These characters, they got some weird points, and some of them kind of get bullied or whatever. But I think the next episode is where we'll really start to dive a little bit more into like, psychological entanglements, problematic relationships. But anyway. That's it for Utena.
Utena's great. I love it. I like this a lot. I'm pretty sure they mentioned cooking at some point in this episode. I don't know where, though. I could be wrong.
All right, it's time for Maison Ikkoku.
Hey, this show is not as depressing as it usually is. It's it's always funny, but this episode it was kind of more lighthearted. We were having fun. He's taking exams. He's having a little rapport with the manager lady. Ooh la la.
I've seen a lot of talk about this show. People talking about how the residents are all such assholes. Like all the people in his apartment who bully him. To me, the comedy of this show is almost entirely that the main character is by far the worst.
Yeah.
He is the guy who actually does deserve to get bullied. He's the least relatable character to me.
Absolutely.
Like, I understand why just because he's the main character you feel like a tendency to want to project onto him. But, like, I don't know, maybe for me as somebody who just, like, dropped out of college relatively quickly and,
Aren't you special?
Like, if I was watching this dude do what he's doing, I would feel exactly the same as all the other residents. Like, why are you fucking trying? You suck at this. Please stop. Like... Stop trying to make us all the bad guy because you keep trying at something you're clearly not putting your all into and are just going to fail at. This episode starts with, he's getting ready to go to the exam. He's not even holding the right license card for the exam he's going to.
Failure.
But he gets a ganbare from the manager, and so now he's all hyped up to get out there and go. And they all immediately start giving her shit. They're just like, hey, you've been real nice to him. Like, you like him. You like him. And she's like, no. I really love the face that red-haired girl is making in this shot. Very, what's her name from Cyberpunk?
Lucy?
Is that the one? The
Kiwi?
The
Rebecca?
Rebecca, yeah. Very Rebecca.
That is a very Rebecca face. Oh, fuck, this chair's uncomfortable.
And she's kind of a Rebecca type, i.e. big slut.
Big slut.
But yeah, so the main thrust of what's going on in this episode is that the older woman, the alcoholic, has been convinced by seeing that little cute display that manager must be in love with, I think Goto is his name, the main guy? Godai? Yeah, okay, Goto's different show. Godai overhears a conversation where she's just like mistakenly leaning in on like, no, you really like that guy, you must, otherwise you wouldn't talk about him like this. And she's just like, no. But she's getting bullied about it. I love this gag that the old drunk woman keeps doing where she like makes the face like a goofy version of the cutesy face to
and she
tease
like
him.
Does an imitation of a manager's voice. It's cute.
It's a really good gag. This show just has a lot of really strong sight gags. A lot of the time, like, the plot and what's happening is kind of repetitive, but the individual jokes stay funny, so it's kind of, like, just fun to watch. Manager, upon getting bullied, like, it seems really clear that Soichiro is, like, an actual boyfriend or somebody that she, like, feels the need to be loyal to who's just not around that she named the dog after. When she thinks about Soichiro, she gets so into hugging the dog that it causes everyone in the streets to be worried. Like, what is this woman doing with this dog? Is this bestiality? Is this okay?
Yes, it is bestiality. No, it is not okay.
So then...
Unless you're furry, I guess.
This scene's fucking hilarious, actually.
Actually, speaking of which, real quick, on Twitter, did you by any chance catch the guy who spent $20,000 on a fursuit to look like a border collie?
No.
It was pretty big. I'm gonna pull it up real quick just to. I mean, he looks like a human-sized border collie. To be honest with you,
like just very realistic, like dog suit or what? So.
No,
oh God, here we go.
Yeah, it's not great. There we go.
Oh wow, that is a very photorealistic border collie. So anyways, the Godai, he's like on the last quiz, the last test. He gets up like an hour before it's over, acting like all confident and shit, and everybody's just like looking at him like, this guy obviously failed.
And
he
did.
storms out and goes straight to the pachinko parlor to crawl around on the ground looking for loose balls that he can start gambling with.
Hey, work smarter, not harder.
A guy finds him and it's just like, it's really bad for you, isn't it? So he's basically just around town, and starts realizing he needs to hide from manager, who is also around town because he's supposed to still be doing the test. And he doesn't want to be caught fucking around. But there's a long, hilarious scene where the older woman takes manager out to get drunk at like an izakaya, and it's just kind of, hammering beers back and like grilling her about her relationship and trying to get her to admit.
Is an izakaya where you like go drink and then get reincarnated into a different world?
Sometimes
that would be an isekaya.
There has been the izakaya
would
anime.
You get reincarnated
maybe
as a
even
bar?
more than one of those actually. But yeah, so this scene is really funny because Godai, of course, is at the same bar, and he keeps trying to like walk parallel to these businessmen in like a cartoony sequence where it's like, oh, she
He's
won't
just
see
trying
me
to
if I'm.
avoid her. It's really funny.
Very well animated, and like first he follows the guy to the bathroom, realizes he's in the bathroom, tries to crawl to the window's too small, follows the guy back, then the guys are leaving, he's trying to follow them leaving, but then she stumbles drunk into the one guy's arms and he's just standing right there, and then she notices, of course, and it's like, what the fuck, why are you here? I've been worried about you all day and you were just drinking like a dumb bastard. Very classic Rumiko. Like, this is what a lot of Ranma 1/2 is like, Akane will catch feelings and be like, oh, maybe Ranma maybe he's not so bad, and then he'll do something stupid, and she goes, nope, he's a dick.
He is that bad.
Ranma's not as much of a pervert as Godai or the guy from Urusei Yatsura, but he's more of just an asshole. But, very, very Ranma-esque scenario here. And the episode, so basically because she's so drunk, she lays into him, she yells at him, she finally lets down the nice girl facade, but also demands that she is going to see him off the next day, which is probably all he actually hears, because then the next day she's like, did I really say I was going to do this? He's like, yep! He's all excited, and his buddy go running off, and she's like, should I be encouraging this guy?
And the mom just kind of like,
That's the beauty of the show. You don't really know. Is it wrong or right to encourage this guy? We'll find out.
It is wrong.
I think that she will bring out the best in him eventually. I also think this episode does a lot of great development for her in the sense that like we really see that like she does not have a good handle on her own feelings or her relationships, or like she's just super mom mode about this guy. Like she cares in a sense of like, oh, things are supposed to be a certain way, so I'm gonna make sure that things are that way. And it's like, yeah, but that's a lot of effort if you're working with somebody who like is a fucking idiot
like me.
I just don't think she really understands what she's signing herself up for, trying to help this fool, but she can't help herself.
I've got a quick in-between show question for the audience.
All right.
Papa John's, Domino's, or Pizza Hut?
Are you trying to figure out what to order right now?
Maybe.
Are you ordering pizza?
I might. Domino's
Pipa,
and Papa John's are closer.
Big Pipa. All right, I think we only got 2 shows left.
Really? Wow.
Mobile Suit
Gundam. So basically, Bright Noah shows up on a real ship, and the real ship immediately tells them, hey, go fuck yourself. We can't take any civilians. All of you are screwed.
Yeah.
And also give us the Gundam and White Base.
Admittedly, this episode, not unlike some of the other ones I described this week, not a lot really happens, and there's a lot of explanation of the not really much happening. But in this case, it's funnier, because most of what's happening is bureaucracy fucking up and dumb people making obvious mistakes. So, yeah, White Base shows up at the Moon Base 2 or whatever, the asteroid thing, and they're just like, yeah, we can't take your guys. Like, we can shuttle them to Earth, maybe, but, like, we can't really do anything. And Bright's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We have civilians everywhere. Like, what are you doing? They're just like, look, man, it is what it is. Also, you guys took all this, like, top secret shit, and none of you are licensed pilots, so we're gonna bring you...
Oi, you got a license for that intergalactic robot?
This was one of those moments where I was just like, yeah, of course. Like, yeah, of course this would happen. How did I not see this coming? Like, of course a bunch of kids who just started using the military equipment are going to be accosted as soon as the military finds out that they're using that equipment.
I no longer have Twitter. The bird is dead. It is now X.
It's X even on mobile, huh?
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Oh, wait, it still shows up as Twitter. See? Good, okay. Long live the bird.
So, yeah, these guys just kind of capture them, for questioning and such. And Bright's like, you guys don't have time for this. Char is definitely just going to circle back and attack again as soon as you guys are not looking.
And they're all kind of like, yeah, right, asshole.
He's like, Char's ship is just a little moose-eye. He wouldn't charge Luna 2 with a light ship. You're being ridiculous. Cut to immediately, Char's like, they're probably thinking right now.
And we're not going to charge them.
We're not going to charge them. But we're definitely doing that. And he also comments, this is an interesting little technological tidbit in Gundam. So, because of the fact that, like, radar, like, there was such a heavy arms race in radar that it's all null now, and they're back to visual-based combat. So if you can't literally see your enemy, you do not know where they are.
That's not, like, a factor just because, like, their equipment is down or something? Or?
No, he literally says, like, technology has advanced so much that we're at a point of visual range combat because, we can just jam back and forth all day. It's not going to do anything.
That's impressive.
So radar, not a thing anymore. Which is why they're able to sneak in. And his plan is we're just going to capture them if we can. If we can't, we fucking kill them. Let's do it. Meanwhile, back on Luna 2, Bright Noah literally banging on the door like, they're going to come, please stop. And Amuro's just looking at him like, Bright, they're not gonna listen to you, dude. Like, I know better. As a powerless child, I can speak to you from one to another. But meanwhile, his other soldier friends are just like, Amuro, you gotta eat. You cannot... He says a soldier has to eat even if he doesn't want to. I have to mention, this applies to everybody.
Everybody should eat.
You can take nutrient supplements or whatever if you really hate food.
You should probably eat
food, make sure you're getting your stuff. Just make sure you're getting your stuff. I know there's probably plenty of people in our audience who have the same problem you do sometimes of, I don't want to eat nothing. And
right now my wisdom tooth's been hurting a lot, so it's even, like, hard to eat. It's not even that I don't... I want to eat.
I mean, you're healthy right now. You're not like underweight or
you're calling me fat
or anorexic or anything. But
let's get a change real quick. No,
some of y'all got to be remind. Look, your mood will be better. You will feel better. You'll be able to perform better tasks. Your life is better when you hydrate well and eat. Anyway.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
They also have a conversation about the technology in the Gundam, reminding us once again it has an AI. It learns combat. So even if Amuro doesn't necessarily improve dramatically as a soldier, the Gundam itself will just keep getting stronger, which is why it's going to be hard for Char to do anything about it. There's a scene where, like, the Bright's team are trying to get to, like, the girls. And one of the little kid, the little girl with the big bow, like, fucks with one of the soldiers, and he's, like, pointing a gun at her, like, hey, you little brat, what do you think you're doing? It's like, you're pointing a gun at a child
excessive,
right now.
Yeah.
Very, very Gundam.
Where was this guy when Amuro was taking the Gundam?
Right. So, basically... Char attacks, of course. And
is it his counterattack yet? Are we there?
No. The other ship that was aboard, I think it's called like the Madagascar or something. I don't remember if that's the one that gets stuck. But yeah, one of the other ships gets stuck in the bay. I love this shot. This, like, my favorite thing about Gundam is how often it uses perspective to have, like, one one thing in the foreground, one thing in the background, and just convey this massive amount of space between them. This is one of those great moments. And basically, as Char is attacking, Luna 2 is immediately like, uh-oh, we should have listened to Bright Noah. We're fucking idiots.
And then Luna 2 is like, hey guys, bye.
What if you did the Gundams and stuff? And the commander is just like, you guys need to let those kids pilot those Gundams. They're the only ones who know what's going on. He says, I'll take full responsibility. Of course, he dies immediately
Which
after
is pretty
saying
cool
that.
of him.
So, yeah, that is the best way to take responsibility, of course. They're like, we keep losing people who've got so much to teach us. Because that's the true horror of war, is that even if there are some smart people with some logic, they're probably going to get killed for the sake of the regime of the illogical. And so you only become more and more... you only end up with dumb, irrational, violent people left at the end of the day. And it only gets worse. That's also a theme in Gundam. But the way that they actually fight off Char is they just blow up that ship, that Stuck's thermonuclear reactor, causing a massive wave of fire to shoot out of the thing, melting enough Zaku's that Char is like, maybe this
isn't a good idea.
I'll do this later. Yeah, this is losing a few too many guys. Amy says, I watched the first movie and half of the original Gundam, and I have no recollection of any of these events. I didn't remember this episode either, so I suspect that this is mostly cut from the first movie, which is a shame, because it's solid stuff. I remember watching this and thinking, like, oh, this feels new. But yeah, because I don't remember them fighting Char this much. Like, in the movie, I feel like we see Char in that first couple skirmishes, and then they don't encounter each other for a while. So I was a little surprised that, like, there's a very quick, like, Char just kind of comes at Amuro with an axe, he blocks him, they don't really accomplish much, the nuclear reactor explodes, and then Char fucks off. So that's pretty much that. It was a solid episode. Now we're on Speed Racer. The last one we gotta talk about.
Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels.
Demon of the fall.
This was a particularly entertaining episode.
This is great. Yeah.
So Speed gets knocked out by logs? Is that what's happened? Is that how he gets incapacitated?
I think maybe. Basically, at the end of the last episode, Racer X just kind of saw Speed out on a drive in the rain and starts fucking with him.
Well, he's not fucking with him, because we learned that...
this episode, he reveals he was fucking with him.
No, he wasn't. He was trying to stop Speed from being fucked with.
He was trying to keep him from entering a race.
By fucking with him.
Yeah.
But he's trying to fuck with him by stop the fuckers. He's fucking
He's trying
the
to fuck
fuckers.
the fuckers before they can fuck him.
Exactly.
Yeah, basically, so he runs Speed really ragged, and then takes him back to his house, like lays him in bed, and is standing over him, and just so.
And then he goes, "Man, I'll never be able to tell Speed this, but I'm his long lost brother, Rex Racer, and I'm going to protect him because I didn't have racing experience."
I think even before he says it, like the narrator
comes
straight
in,
up is just like, "By the way, this is Speed's brother." Like,
and then it like X-rays under his mask and stuff.
So, I really like this because, I mean, not unlike with Monster, where I was like, I don't know how long it's going to be before he finds out that Johan is the killer. Turns out immediately. In Speed Racer's case, he'll probably never, until way later, find out that Racer X is his brother. But it's
I don't know if he ever does.
It is not trying to hide that from us. We are allowed to know the obvious. And it actually sets up... I think the relationships Speed has with Racer X and with his dad are just fucking adorable in this show. Where, like, they're all just trying to protect him. They don't want him to do this dangerous career that Racer X especially knows is, you have a huge target on your back if you're the ultimate racer. But at the same time, when they see Speed becoming the ultimate racer, they're really excited about it, and they want to see their kid, go the distance. So... yeah, it's really fun, and also, animation technique-wise, this fucking fascinated me. So we've talked about how this show, I mean, they're constantly doing stuff visually. Like, every shot's like a whole new idea for how a shot can be done, because there's, like, no standards, of practice at the time. But most interesting to me was this episode has a whole scene of Racer X redoing the recap or backstory that that their dad had given in the last episode.
But for real this time.
It's the same footage, but now blue, and now from Racer X's perspective, where he's explaining it. Wait a minute. This is almost exactly what happened in Zom 100 episode 2, where they reused the footage, but a different character gave perspective on the events, and I was just like, fuck, they've been doing this the whole time. Like, anime, so much of anime's visual language and pacing and techniques were established right in the 60s and have just held up.
Real quick, Speed Racer is 52 episodes long, and Speed does not find out about Racer X until episode 50.
I figured it was going to be something like that. MN&M with 15
Whoa,
shekel.
are you addressing a super chat?
I am, because it's about Speed Racer. Would you consider watching some episodes of Speed Racer subbed? It could be fun because it's a very different show in Japanese. Also, here's money.
We will watch the next one subbed now, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do it.
You've given us money to do it.
We'll check them both out.
I just really like the English voice actors.
Well, I am curious, like, how different the translation is, if it changes the relationships of the characters and such, because...
Do you think Speed tells Trixie to shut up more?
Maybe. Shut up, bitch. So, Racer X, having saved Speed...
As one does.
You know, I guess he's just feeling comfortable because he used to live in this house, but he just goes to take a shower.
No, he's at his house. It's not Speed's house.
Oh, okay. So he took Speed to his house.
Yeah.
But he just goes to take a shower.
He assumes Speed is out.
Leaves all his clothes around. Speed wakes up. It is like, oh shit, Racer X's fucking hood. I'm going to try it on.
And then he does. And
this is a perfect example of what I mean by their relationship is so adorable. Because he has no idea it's his brother. Doesn't know.
He just thinks he's a good racer.
He literally, like, wants to run in this man's footsteps as much as humanly possible, to the point of putting on his mask without even realizing it's literally just his big brother. You know, it's amazing that they have, like, such a pure brother relationship without realizing it. Anyway, because he put on Racer X's mask,
he gets beaten over the head with a gun, pistol whipped.
Some dudes showed up to try to kidnap Racer X. They see this guy, they think it's him. They kidnap Speed. They don't find out until they've already got him in a place. Monkey finds out about this happening and goes to tell Trixie, who's in the city. And this is a hilarious conversation.
Yeah, because it's like what's that fucking dog? Lassie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Timmy's in the well? Well, it's like the bad guys are like, I'll let the monkey get away. He can't talk. And the monkey shows up.
That was a funny thing.
And for a minute, Trixie's just like, what the fuck are you trying to communicate to me? I don't Are our friends in trouble? Like, is that what you're trying to say? Should I be on the road? All right, take me to where our friends are. So yeah, they figure it out. I love this fucking shot so much. This might have to be my new Discord avatar.
You should make that your Twitter avatar too.
It's really good. It's just Trixie witnessing a fiery explosion of I assume the enemy's vehicle. So basically, Racer X, like, he helps Trixie. They, like, rescue Speed. They, you know, and they're going into this race, and Racer X is like, look, I just really didn't want you to do this because I know these guys are they're dangerous. They're after us. But they do the race anyways, and pretty much immediately just systematically eradicate this entire team of guys that's trying to fuck with them.
Oh, also, Skullduggery's back, I think. But he's got a different name this time.
I was unclear about that because, yeah, like, Speed Racer enters under a different name, and then it shows a guy who looks just like Skullduggery but has a different name, but they're not clear about if he's also using a different name for some reason,
it is
or
really
if it's just
funny.
coincidence.
When they announce Speed's different name, I don't remember what it is, the announcer goes, and it is John Smith. But hang on a second, John Smith is driving the Mach 5, and so it could be none other than Speed Racer. And it's like
a way sillier name than that too. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
It was like,
it's just like, you're gonna out him like that? I mean,
yeah. So yeah, the race starts immediately. The bad guys are pulling all these tricks, and they're just reversing them all. Like, they try to shine a light in Mysterious Racer's eyes. He just shines one back. Some cool animation techniques on display here. But eventually, it leads to a moment where Racer X gets his car like toppled over. Like there's been a big crash, and Speed is like could win the race, but he stops to try to help Racer X, and X is like, "Don't fucking stop. You could win this right now. I'm fine. In fact, I'm going to hobble to my car and beat your ass because you're wasting time."
Racer X is incredible. I love him.
And Speed's like, all right, fine. So he goes ahead and wins the race. But at the same time, he feels like he was let win. He doesn't feel like he truly won. He thinks Racer X is still the better racer.
And he's like, one day I'm going to learn who Racer X is.
Yeah, he tries to chase him, but he can't catch up to him before he leaves the facility. And so his dream is discover his identity and race him one-on-one. So now the rest of the show is assumably going to be about him getting good enough to actually beat Racer X on a real race. Again,
he's going to become a real racist.
This is very Mega Man to me. You know, if you've ever seen Ego Raptor's old Mega Man X video where he talks about how, like, at the start you just get your ass beat by the villain, but then eventually, like, you get saved by Zero, who's like the cooler version of you, and then eventually you get all that guy's powers and you use those to beat the
like Oblivion.
bad guys.
Isn't Oblivion like that?
I don't
Aren't you like a
remember.
sidekick in Oblivion, just following around the real main character or something?
No, I think you're like freeing a king from jail or something in that. I don't remember. I haven't played it. Anyway, yeah, this was a solid episode. It's fun. I like the relationships. I like how action packed the show always is. And how the visuals are just like a fucking manic fever dream of disconnected ideas loosely tied together by sound design. It's fun.
I like the show a lot. This was a really good week for mostly everything.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Even
anime
Mushoku
this
Tensei
week.
wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it was. What are you talking about? I mean, it was funny. It was funny that he had erectile dysfunction, and that was the whole plot, and that the girl treated him like shit, and he just was sad. It was particularly funny when he tried to kill himself over it.
I mean, it's never funny to kill yourself. I'd just like to put it out there. Thank you for not killing yourself.
What do you think right now is your favorite anime that we're covering this block? If you had to pick, what's been your favorite so far?
Speed Racer or Jujutsu Kaisen?
Okay, interesting. Mine, Revolutionary Girl Utena, kind of hard not to be my forerunner. It's a show I've been a really big fan of for a long time. Mobile Suit Gundam, I've also been really, really enjoying just because both of those shows are so dense. I feel like every episode there's like a significant amount to learn and like a lot of world building, a lot of like character dynamics and relationships that are interesting. I'm very entertained by most of the other shows, but those are the two that I'm like, these are probably going to be some of my favorite anime. Steins Gate was a favorite of mine for a time, but it doesn't quite. I don't think it holds up on rewatches as well as Utena or Gundam do, where those are shows that like I can parse them even more easily and realize there's even more going on.
Sorry, Ellen just pointed out something really good. Does it never cross Speed's mind that, hey, why do you have my logo on you?
Yeah,
he's got the Mach 5 on his chest.
Look. He's not the brightest bulb in the bulb.
He's really
place.
pretty though, in the bulb place.
Full of bulbs. In the chandelier. He's not the brightest candle on the chandelier, all right?
Hey, every chandelier burns bright.
So, reminder to everybody, our bonus episodes, the next one's going to be on Keep Your Hands Off the Azo Ken. I'm really excited to watch it, which we're probably going to do in the next couple days so that we can get this done in the next couple days.
Because we were supposed to do it in July.
Some point this month, probably. After that, we're going to open up a poll again. I don't remember if I explained this, but I've basically decided, like all of the shows that are going to be possible bonus episodes, because we've done a lot of like polling around to have people suggest what they think we should cover. It's pretty obvious what type of shows people are going to vote for, and on the main show on We Watch Anime here. I try to cover like really long classics. Like I want us to just be cycling through these 26 plus episode shows, whereas on the bonus episodes we'll mostly be covering like 13 episode or less shows that we can just do in one go and talk about the whole thing. So when we get through Azo Ken, I will basically launch a poll of like 40 classic shorter anime that people can vote on for us to choose as the next one. And then I will, at some point, also give you all the list of like, here's what the next 5 years worth of like anime I intend for us to cover is on this channel. I did a little bit of previewing that a few weeks ago when I first like came up with it. But
it's kind of funny because you like did it in your notes on your phone, and then the other day we were at Office Depot, and you're like, "Should I get a 12-month journal to
so
write
I could do
everything
it
down?"
it by hand and have it all here?" But I can't really do that yet because we've touched on this a little bit. At some point when we're ready, when we're not so fucking being defeated by the EP monster every day, and I actually get caught up on some of the editing with this podcast. We're going to make a video announcing doing the We Read Manga as another Patreon bonus show, and then basically setting goals where so I want to have a goal where once we hit $1,000 on Patreon, everybody who is listening to everybody who has access to We Read Manga will get to basically vote on what 6th manga we cover.
Ooh.
So like they'll get to suggest and vote on a 6th manga for us, because I want the audience to be able to pick one, have some participation. It is probably going to be $15 a month for that podcast, and it's going to come out every 2 weeks. It's
Is it going to be $15 a month forever?
I don't know. It depends on how successful it is, I guess. But I think it sounds fair to me to get 2 extra bonus episodes for another $10, in addition to the $5 bonus episode, and you get your name read in every episode still for being above $10. So, you're getting a little bit extra in that sense. But yeah, part of our plan is once we hit $2,500 a month on Patreon, we will start making 2 episodes a week, because at that point we won't need a regular job anymore. If we were making $2,500 a month combined, I think we could get by on that.
Let's account for inflation, maybe $3,000.
But between $2,500 on Patreon and whatever we make through ad revenue, I think we'd be making a comfortable enough living that we could just do this show full time. So when we hit that, we will increase the main show to be twice weekly. That will make it so that all these shows that people are like, you're going to be watching Maison Ikkoku for 2 years, right? It's like, well, maybe it'll be 1 year. Maybe Monster will be 6 months, but it depends on us reaching that amount first. So once we hit like 2,500, we'll increase the show to twice a week. And then once we hit like 5K, we will make We Read Manga a weekly show also. But I'm not anticipating that happening for quite some time. It's just good to have stretch goals. Good to have things for people to plan for. Good to have things for people to look forward to. Again, I'm not trying to get the biggest audience with this show. I want the most engaged audience. I want people who are having a great time watching these anime with us, or even just listening to us every single week, pretending to watch the shows. There's plenty of people who are like, yeah, I don't need to see them. Like, you guys summarized everything that happens.
Fight the EP monster.
Yeah, exactly. So, whatever capacity you engage at the show, I want you to be having a good time, participating to whatever level you see fit, and giving us some fucking money. Because we need it. We need that money. Get that money. Yeah. Anyway, tomorrow is another work day. It's almost 10 o'clock. There's lots of things that I want to do for a regular job, like clean the car and do expenses.
We are going to see Barbie this week. So we should talk about it next week. Yes. I don't know about Oppenheimer, but I do also want to talk about that.
We definitely are going to make sure we see Barbie before next weekend. So if you want to see it too, you should do that. Again, the manga, I'm excited about them. I already read them all, but we'll make an announcement video when we're ready. All right, this is it. This is
Anime forever.
Anime forever. Thank you all.
You said there's nothing else to say, but then
Anime forever.